One, two, three. Doing a little test. Can you hear me? How's everyone doing? Stay hydrated. Are we coming through clear? Is this a bikini try-on haul? Why would there be bikinis? Okay, so everyone hear me good? Just good enough? I mean, it sounds like it. Alright, so let's change that. Boop. Okay. The sun is coming through crazy right now, so it's messing with all the light in this room. But we should be going alright. Let me just move the mic in a little bit. There we go. Let me see. How are we doing? Okay. How are we this fine Wednesday Eve? Let's see what's going on. You must just... Okay. Good evening to Leiden. How's it going to Gabe Newell? The arms video is, it is what it is. I'm trying. I'm trying. Oh my god. I'm struggling. I'm struggling with what I am, but I'm trying. It's taken a really long time. I basically watched everything, but now I have to write about stuff, and it's I don't know. It's a difficult one for me to like actually write stuff on. I mean, I'll do my best. That's all I can say with the video. How's it going, Hayden? Hope you're doing well. And how's it going, Sunbro? I hope Pika can hear me now. Sounds like everyone else can hear me. And how's it going, Hazel? I'm glad you can hear it too. Alright, good. Hair, yeah. Yeah, I've trimmed my hair a little bit more. I've been trying to, I don't know. It's been a bit of, my hair is kind of like a wild adventure. In that, like, it's just so unruly. And I've been, like, trimming it down. To try and, okay. No, shut up. Stop. Alright, yeah, I've been trimming it down to try and even out. Just because the back was way too long. And now it sort of just goes in any direction and I can't control it. So I have to just kind of live with it until it like grows itself into somewhere comfortable. Or I shave it all off again. One of the two. A day stream. Yeah, well, kind of like well, it's about to turn night. I don't know, but we'll see. Like my lighting here is really weird because it's really bright out. Well, the sun's shining into the room and it's making everything look darker than it is. Even though I've got like 2-3 lights on, but like the sun is just too bright. I might have to close the curtain. Okay. How's it going, End of the Century Survivor? I mean, I hope you're surviving. Ooh. Hey, so you're working on a video on Magipoka right now. I'm trying to ease myself into analysis video. Okay. What is Magipoka? I've never heard of that one before. I mean, I could probably Google it right now and find out. Magipoka. Oh, this one. Yeah, sorry. You showed me this one before, didn't you? Did you? Did you show me this one? Or was it a different one? Oh, 2006. No, this is a different one. I'm thinking of the other one. The one from the 90s by TMS. This looks interesting. 2006, is it? I look forward to it. But the heritage sushi, I mean, we've I've sort of cleaned it up a bit. Let's just put it that way. Like now it seems to be functioning a bit more. The back of it, I was having such a trouble with the back of it. There was just too much of it. It was just everywhere. But now it seems to sort it out. It sort of cleaned up the back, and it's still kind of going a bit everywhere. But the hair feels a bit more consistent now. But you know, it's an error. Aya Hirano did one of the characters in the show along with Haruhi Suzumiya. Haruhi Suzumiya. They aired alongside each other, like one day apart. Oh, okay. One of the characters in the show, along with. Okay, I see. So that's the voice actor, right? Yeah, that's a blast in the past. 2006. I remember watching anime in 2006. I was watching. Wait, what? How old would I have been in 2006? Let me figure this one out. 11 or 12, maybe. God, how old would I have been? Because that was 15 years ago. I'd have been 12. So yeah, I was definitely watching anime at the age of 12. That's when it started coming off the television, and I started watching anime online in like 240p crushed. So I was watching whatever I could get my hands on. Damn, 1 year old. Oof. So young my audience is sometimes. Okay. Speaking of which, do you like the melancholy of Haruhi? I can't. I've been out of the game too long. I can't speak anymore. Do I like Haruhi basically? I watched Haruhi when I was like 12 or like somewhere between 12 or 14. I haven't seen it since. Was it been? How old? Yeah, I was somewhere between 12 or 14. I probably watched it on some bit crushed website in 2007 or 8 or whenever. A couple years after it came out, maybe around the time it came out. I don't really remember much about it, to be honest. I watched the first series. I vaguely remember at the time enjoying it. I had fine time. I don't know what order I watched it in, whatever order the website was in at the time. And then I never saw any of the extra things like the movie or the OVA. No, it was the 8-episode Endless 8 thing. Never saw any of that. Okay, yeah, so this was about how shows take a pretty unique approach to comedy and some other history industry stuff thrown in, because there's a lot of interesting stuff to it. Ah, that sounds good. I mean, it sounds like a good topic. It's very, what would I say? It's a classic Hayden topic. I hope it does well. I saw, I mean, I think I said it to you. I saw the video game video, the video you did on, the video game, what was it called again? CEX, is it? Or was it CXX? The video game talk show, game show. That seems to be doing well. Yeah, I enjoyed the video. I thought it was really good. I thought you had a very good timing to it. Everything flowed into each other very nicely. I haven't had any time to watch it though, because I've been going through all of Arms' back catalogue. I haven't watched much besides that. Okay. Pretty unique. Okay. I'm guessing GBC is DBC. Yeah, I used to watch. To be fair, sometimes I used to watch Dragon Ball before I went to school. There was a period when I did at least, where I guess this was probably back this time, maybe even a little bit before then. 10 or 11. However, I was probably like 11 or whatever, and I had acquired all the Dragon Ball Z movies on my computer, and sometimes I used to watch it, like Path for Power before I went to school or something while eating breakfast. Oh yeah, and keep drinking water. Were you born? Was I born with a smooth voice? I don't do any training on my voice. Besides like warming up before a video, but I did very little warming up before the stream, so I may do my voice in. I did a little bit of like, you know, and all that stuff, and maybe some mild like chewing exercise. But yeah, I probably should do a bit more before I stream because the next day I usually feel it if I don't, which is why I keep drinking water. Keeps my vocal cords together. No, I guess I was probably just lucky. I didn't. I don't think I've ever done voice training or anything like that, outside of just like vocal exercises that you do before you record a video. Oh, okay. So plus 10, yeah, water is important, everyone. The opening is pretty infamously misleading. There was this rumor that there was a miscommunication between the band and the studio when they commissioned the song, but I couldn't find a source. Interesting. The old classic forum mill, right? I wonder if it's true. I don't know, I guess the only place... Well, like Japanese wiki? Anything on there? Anything about it in Japanese wiki? Or is it strictly like an American thing? Have I read Chainsaw Man or Fire Punch? Nope. For reading. I can barely read. I have so many books that I just haven't read. So yeah, even my manga collection, there's a lot of it that has not been read. So I'm not picking up anything new. Why is this in my recommended feed? I guess you just, I don't know, maybe I'm just irresistible to recommendations. I have no idea why they would ever recommend a live stream to someone if they've never seen the videos. I guess I can tell you this is my channel. This is me chilling for a second. The channel is about mainly animation, anime, Japanese stuff, I guess, kind of culturally. The last video I did was on Redline, the movie Redline, and the history of it, the director, and the misconceptions that come around that. The next video I have is on Studio Arms, most famous for making the anime Alphen Lead. I don't know, you can go through the back catalogue, I don't know. We're streaming, we're chilling, alright? That's what we're doing. So the ending will basically be about how you shouldn't take info at face value. Ah yeah, do research yourself. That's a very good point. You know, there's there's a video doing the rounds a while ago. I probably won't name it because it's it's just fucking drama. But it was a very particular video that got quite popular recently that was basically had zero sources, but they had sort of like the preconceived notion that something was a certain way in the anime scene, right? And they had basically conspired like everything they could think of to make this idea up, where like there may be some validity to some of it, but overall they had just sort of taken a square peg and tried to slam a round peg into it to establish this point they had in their brain, but they had really no evidence to back it up in the actual world. And this can be an issue because a lot of times there's even, I think there's a word for it as well. I forget the name of it. It's something like amnesia, but it's like the idea that like most viewers will take everything you say in passively, and a lot of them will just kind of take it at face value and won't question it until it becomes something that they have a unique position of like knowledge in. But then after they've realized that's wrong, they'll kind of just keep forgetting again. So like yeah, like sometimes people will just take something that sounds right, and like unless you want to research every 5 little pieces. I mean, you see it a lot in the anime industry. Like when I did my Redline video, I specifically did a lot of it because I was annoyed at how many people were like, the budget on this film was like $30 million, and it cost way too much to make, and it like blew the whole Madhouse studio. I'm just like, I can't find anything that really solidifies that. Like you really don't know. Like they got losses. Yes, there were losses that Madhouse took in certain quarters. You don't know if those are from Redline. There could be a million different things out of them because most studios are taking heavy losses from something. You don't know if that was Redline or the 4 other movies they released that year, or the 11 other shows they were doing at that time. You can't know. And when people start making the assumptions of like, Redline, most expensive anime movie ever made at that point, or it's like these things are just not out in the open. There is no hard evidence on how much Redline was made. From what I heard, source to source, like Whispers in the Valley, apparently was probably not as expensive as you'd expect, even though like long production, small amount of staff. And Madhouse usually made films that were quite cheap. Like, probably one of the most expensive movies they made back then was the Tezuka's Metropolis, which is estimated at somewhere between, like, 5 to 15, depending on the way you look, million budget. Though, again, I don't know if there's even a strong source on that one. But, yeah, I don't... But, yeah, that is what it is. But yeah, I appreciate the idea that, yeah, do your research yourself. Sometimes it's hard to find something on, especially if it's lost information. Tokimeki memorial episode on the Game 6 was something else. I imagine it was because I mean I guess most people have probably seen the Tim Rogers video now, maybe in our circles, I guess. I didn't I didn't sit down and watch the 6 hour video. I didn't have time, but yeah, I think well, God, what's his name? Igarashi of Castlevania handheld fame. I think he worked on that the romance sim, the dating sim. I'm pretty sure that was one of his early jobs. I'm pretty sure that one was one of his early ones. Like I think he was story composition on it or something like that. I probably should look that up. But I'm pretty sure that was one of his early positions at Konami before he got his job at Symphony of the Night. My wrist goes up and down. It's kind of been a lot sorer lately because I've been doing a lot of handwriting of notes. For like the different stuff I've been watching from ARMS. So like I've been writing a lot of stuff on paper in my notepad. So I haven't really I haven't been like responsible, I guess, because yeah, writing like that, a lot of strain on the wrist. But I feel okay today. Like it hasn't been too bad. It has its moments. I don't know if it's going to heal anytime soon, to be blunt. I probably may have to talk to a doctor again just to see if there's any next steps I should be taking. Probably should start doing a bit more exercises on it because I haven't really been doing that much, like resistance training or anything on it. But it's more manageable than it once was, but it's still an issue. Like I'm not very good at carrying very heavy things still. I have to avoid using the right arm for that. Yeah, watching. I never really got to watch Dragon Ball Z late at night. Someone's mentioned this in the chat because I watched it around my grandparents' house. My grandparents had like limited Sky or like limited channels. They eventually did have Sky, but so when I was really young, they only had like Cartoon Network and TCM, I think it's called. They had like old movie channel, Cartoon Network, and then they got Sky a little bit later, so I could watch all the channels. And Dragon Ball Z was on Cartoon Network or Toonami later, CNX for a little while. So I could only watch it when I was going to my grandparents' house at the weekend. I didn't get to watch it like late at night or anything, just whenever it was on television. Unless I had it on VHS, then I guess I could have watched it late at night. How's it going, Human Falafel? GB Dragon Ball Z GT was on Nicktoons, so that's weird. It's never on Nicktoons over here. Someone's asking, what's the most difficult animation technique, and do you have any examples? I have. There is no such thing. I mean, it's going to vary between person and person because, like, when it comes to animation techniques, right, you usually have specialists who works on different things. So there are like, there was an interview quote. I don't know if I used it in the video or not. For Redline, where they were talking about like drawing like sensual, sexy women kind of stuff with like the idols, and there was sort of like a conversation where they were asking Koike, like, was it difficult to do that? And they were like, not really, because we had people like on staff who like were specialists to that sort of stuff, who did those scenes and those cuts. It was like their responsibility. So like that would have been I think what's his name? What is his name? The Ninja Scroll director's like key animator, like one of his like character designer was on the project. I've lost this. I've forgotten his. Why have I got? I've talked about him for fucking days. But yeah, like his like staff members were on that sort of scenes, and you also had like the guy who did oh God, what's it? I've lost everyone's name today. Is it Hiramayushi? The director of like Gurren Lagann and all that. Like he was on a couple cuts there. Like so, they were like specific animators that did specific stuff. Usually, you when you're doing I guess this is specific to like bigger productions. Like you try and pick the person who's the best at doing something to do a shot, because in a TV anime you probably can't really be that picky unless it's like a big action set piece where like then salary staff members will be doing those, like the Shidas of the Dragon Balls or One Pieces. But yeah, I think it's a bit of it's such an abstract concept. I wouldn't be able to answer you. Have I read Billy Bat? Nope. Better than I don't know. I'm not really haven't really read a lot of Urasa. Yeah, sorry, how do you say Urasawa, right? Urasawa. I haven't really read much of him. I know he's pretty acclaimed. Ilioji? No problem. I'm glad you liked the red line video. Authority bias. It's not the term I was thinking of, but yeah, that kind of people will sort of. I think a lot of it comes with if you spend every second of your life being like, prove it. Like you're gonna have a really stressful life, you know. If you like every second of existence watching a video or a movie or a news site, you're like, oh, well, where's the source of this one? Better check it up, and then you know you're never gonna get anything done. So like sometimes yeah, you have to like just trust that someone is willingly telling you the right thing. This is reminding me of the YMS. YMS's video is interesting because I'd always kind of heard about the Kimber stuff, and I was pretty much on the side of like, yeah, well, fuck Disney because they do this shit all the time. Like they always take something, you know, public domain masters, you know, just take some idea and make it into a multi-billion franchise, and then fight against anyone who does anything remotely close to it. But yeah, the Kimber thing, the Lion King and Kimber, Simba, kind of like yeah, it's really asinine. Like it's just sort of you know, you can tell there's like a mild influence, but it really doesn't go beyond that. I think what's really more messed up was that there's one instance where when Tezuka Productions made their version of like the movie of Great Leo Lion, you know, Kimber, Simba. They made the Kimber movie in the mid '90s, around the same time, just like a couple years after the Lion King movie came out, and they wanted to send it on like a film circle, like they were taking it around. I think one of them was in Canada, and they got a cease and desist from Disney, which is like, oh, fuck you, Disney. What the fuck? Come on, you've already gone to like, at this point, there was a mild, you know, rumbling about, did you take influence from this? And they're like, no, we don't. And then they're throwing these fucking DCMAs at like the people. Oh, it's got nothing to do with you. Come on. Even if there is like some similar shots in Kimber for, you know, obvious reasons. Because, you know, they were ripping on the Lion King, you know, tit for tat. Day's going alright. I don't know. Not much has happened today. It's kind of been a bit of a nothing day. My nephew was around earlier, so like I haven't really gotten much work done. So like we're streaming today, and then afterwards, I guess I'm gonna have to see if I can get some stuff done. So maybe I don't know what I'm gonna try and do. Maybe record some stuff, look at my script. You know, just cry, whatever I'm feeling at the time. Eat some dinner. You know, standard. The opening is a similar case to that Redline budget thing, just not on the same scale. Yeah, I make a joke about it at the end, but also leave it open for the case if it's actually. Yeah, this is always a difficult thing. Like you know, like it's like a Schrodinger's cat thing where like you hear something and you don't know if it's true, but you don't know if it's not true. So you're kind of like in this middle ether of like this is the rumor, but we don't know anything about it. You know, that sort of like middle ground where there really isn't enough to say either way. Which is, I think, fair enough to just kind of leave it open at that point. Because, you know, we don't know. How do I search stuff that isn't... Wait, how do you research stuff that doesn't have English sources? Do you know, Jeff? My Japanese is terrible, man. I'm not going to fucking... I mean, you have to work around it. You know, you can look at the sources and see what you can find, but like, it's good to know people, you know. But sometimes you might have to just, you know, look at DeepAl Translator, go through it. You can't quote any of it because it could be completely wrong, but you know, you can sort of get a very shoddy translation from like DeepAl, and you can kind of get the gist of what's going on there, and then see if it like applies to any other sources you have to see if like, you can kind of like cross the dots on it. Like sometimes that might need to happen, but like you can't really trust these programs too much. Like I wouldn't like take it quote for quote or anything, but usually I try and focus on English sources and not like random Japanese I've put through a processing translator or something like that, because that's just not good. You don't know how close or how true it is to the original intent of the words that were said, because Japanese is a very contextual language. But yeah, I mean, learning Japanese is a good way in this thing, because there's a lot of stuff that you're not going to be able to find otherwise. Do I watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? I've watched it in the past. I'm just not really big on David Productions. They kind of leave with me like a bitter taste with like all their attitude. We'll see how part 6 goes, I guess. I watched like an episode of part 5, but I've read part 5, and I've read a lot of part 6, but part 6 didn't really do much for me, so I never finished it. I like writing and reading. Glad someone likes writing and reading. Not that I don't like these things sometimes, but I just really struggle with both of them. I'm very all over the place, and always have been. I've always struggled with those sort of stuff, like, which is ironic now that I have to do it all the time because it's kind of my job. But I'm not very strong in those categories. Like the things, out of anything I do, it's usually like anything to do with the art process. I'll be fine doing. Collaging, drawing, whatever I can do without much trouble. Audio editing, and then I guess I'm kind of in the middle with like video editing. I'm usually okay at doing that without like getting too distracted. Everything else, like, no, I can't do anything else. Those 3 things, that's all I got. Everything else is pain. And I haven't seen Promare. Promare? Is it Promare or Promare? I have not seen that one anyway, the Trigger one. I was going to see it in the cinemas, but I missed it. I think it was only on for a day or something. So I couldn't go. I think I was at work. So I couldn't go to see it when it was actually in the cinemas. So after that, I was just like, I'm not really bothered. Is that Forchi? Yeah, I mean, I've had the carpal tunnel for like months, upon like 8 months now, I think, and it's gone a lot better. But like, yeah, it's really slow recovery, and I don't know if I'll ever fully recover. It's hard to say, just because I have to use my wrist for like most stuff. So I've just had to do as much reducing of damage that I can. I don't think I'd hope I don't have to take wrist surgery, but yeah, it might be worth talking to someone. Though obviously the whole pandemic has made it really hard to talk to like a professional about this sort of thing. So the only thing I'm probably going to get is like another phone call and then talk to them through it that way. How's it going, Spence? And World 2? You have to be careful one day. Miyazaki is going to teleport behind you while you do a live stream, basically a non-personal kid. Yeah, I mean, well, when our number is up, our number is up. If Miyazaki has to break through the door like a feral animal and slice me in two with like a bow and arrow or whatever the fuck he's got, a spear, that's me done. There's nothing I can do to stop that, so why worry about it? I remember the late 90s I saw uncensored Dragon Ball Z episodes on cable TV. It was only in the morning, huh? Like early in the morning? It's something that no one outside the Latin American could do. Our censorship was never so heavy. Yeah, to be fair, there were like 2 different versions that it got in English, right? So this is how it went with Dragon Ball here. Like there was the Ocean dub, and then the Funimation dub. And in the UK, what would happen is they'd switch between them every like 15 episodes, which is really weird because like as a kid you wouldn't quite notice, but there were definitely points where I'm like, wait, why does Majin Buu's voice sound different, or why does Gotenks sound different now? Why is he a mixed voice instead of a single voice? This sort of stuff happened like repeatedly throughout the series, and you get very confused about it. But I couldn't really register that these were completely different like acting casts. And Ocean and Funimation had like different rules at how much they'd censor. They had different soundtracks. Both had terrible audio mixing. Funimation's was probably a little bit worse. But yeah, like there would still be blood spray and stuff like that. I think that the further they got through the series, they kind of got a bit looser again. Definitely like during the Majin Buu arc, there was just people spitting out blood all the time. And blood was still like, I think they limited it to a degree, but yeah, depending on which version you saw, you'd have different variants. But it was still a pretty violent show. Definitely more violent than the later version that you saw on Nicktoons for Kai. Yeah, the Redline OST is like really great. That's like one of the best soundtracks. Just honestly great. Like James Shimoji, what a great composer. I wish he does like more big stuff again. And he did stuff for like the Lupin movies, or like the small. Well, I don't know what you'd call them. Were they OVAs? Like the Koike like Lupin series. He was like on all of those. But I'd like to see him sort of do something big again, something like really punchy. That would be cool. Lisa, do I have a favorite animated series outside of anime? Um, I don't know. Like I've watched a fair bit, especially when I was younger. Like when I was younger, I was all about like the Batman the animated series. Um, trying to think if there was anything else. Like I liked a lot of the cartoons. Hmm. I don't know if I can think of anything. I don't really have like favorites. I don't like to think of stuff in that way. Usually, just like a lot of stuff I like. Um, Out of more recent cartoons, I did watch all of Adventure Time, or at least until like I don't know. They've done more since I stopped watching, but I did watch pretty much all of Adventure Time, and I enjoyed watching that. Um, I liked Samurai Jack back in the day. I wasn't really huge on season 5, but I did really like Samurai Jack back in the day. The first 4 seasons. Like the extended just like DC animated universe. I was pretty into all that. The Superman, the Batman, Justice League Unlimited, Status Shock, those ones. But yeah, I don't know. That stuff, I guess. Spending every second of your life saying "prove it." Haha. Socrates lived that way, and it was so annoying that he executed himself. I mean, yeah, it would be kind of annoying, wouldn't it? Like if fucking Socrates is there, you're like, "Wow, it's a sunny day today," and he's like, Socrates comes out and is like, "Is it really? Is it really sunny? Can you even trust your eyes, bitch?" And you're like, "Fucking hell, Socrates again." God, fucking damn it. Like, I quite like wine. And Socrates is like, "But do you really like wine? Or do you just enjoy being drunk?" And it's just like, fuck off, Socrates. Jesus Christ. Not every conversation has to be a philosophical breakdown. What's Bozu? Oh, Desert Punk. Did I see Desert Punk? Oh, Sunabu. Is it Sanabosu? Sanabosu? Sunabosu? I saw Desert Punk when I was younger. Um, I don't really remember much about it. I remember it was kind of horny. Um, and I liked the setting, but I think it kind of went nowhere. I don't know. I don't remember much about it. I watched it when I was really young. Oh, you finally got the book from Miriam Rom Silverberg. The thing is thick and heavy. I gotta start learning how to read. I gotta start. Um, that's good. I'm glad you got the book. Was this the one on Erogoro? I vaguely remember we were talking about books a while ago. Was that the one? I remember we looked for a couple. Yeah, yeah. So it was the erotic grotesque nonsense, right? That was the one, isn't it? The mass culture of Japanese in modern times. Ah, that's cool. Did we not? We didn't have. Did we not have the PDF on that one? I can't remember. But yeah, I'm glad you got it. I hope it's not too dense, but I imagine it's going to be pretty dense. Though it's a really interesting topic, to be fair. But I hope it teaches you. No illustrations, apparently, though. I hope it's useful. Let me just delete a bunch of these links now. Got so many bloody links. Irritating how hard it is to legally find older anime in Canada. I know there's other ways, but I like to. Yeah, I think that's gonna be an issue with a lot of places because if it's not like viable to sell, they won't like redistribute it. I guess your best bet would probably be imported from different places. I don't know, like, isn't the region code in Canada the same as America? Because Discotheque does a lot of like reissuing. In fact, oh, here's a good one for everyone. I just got there was a deal today on alltheanime.com. All the Anime is like an independent anime distributor in the UK area. And they had a deal on with Kino's Journey. A 13 episode original series. They had it going for like £8, so I bought it. I'd actually I never sat down and really watched the whole thing. But I thought like it'd be a good excuse if I buy it. I can sit down with my projector and actually watch the fucking show. And I thought it'd be a really nice time to do that. So at some point in the future, I'm going to sit down and watch Kino's Journey. Though, again, I have a bunch of other stuff I said I'd do that with, and I haven't. So, but I feel like maybe I'll do it this time. Maybe I'll actually do it. Who knows? Yeah. Research, finding sources. Pff, who needs it, right? Am I right? Wink. This is Aaron. Aaron is asking something about, do I think animation is looked down upon? Yes. Short answer done. There you go. It is. And it probably never will not be. So shrug. What are you gonna do about it? Who gives a fuck about impressing people who don't give a fuck about something? Francisco, is that Francisco? There's no such thing as a new Miyazaki, and there never will be. Unless we're talking about like cultural relevance, then it's whoever's making the most money at the box office. Outside of Miyazaki, that's probably whoever just directed the Demon Slayer film, I guess. Or I guess you could go back to the classic Shinkai, in that like his last two films have done pretty well. Depends how Ava does as well, because I've seen the numbers on Ava, 3.0 plus one for like COVID numbers. They last time I checked, they had like 70 million at the box office in like the first week. That's a lot of money, and like the Ava like reconstruction films do most of their sales like in physical media. Well, that seems to be how it is in Japan. They do a lot of numbers, like a lot of hard numbers, like 100,000 like units sold sort of stuff. It's like really high. So I wouldn't be surprised if like Ava 3 plus 1, whatever it's called, does really well in terms of like physical sales, digital sales, streaming. I imagine that it's going to make a huge amount of money. Have I thought about making my own subreddit? Not really. I don't know if it would be much use to anyone. If someone else wants to make a subreddit for my content, they're welcome to, but I don't know. It sounds like a lot of stress to like manage a subreddit, and I don't know if there's any like much utility to it personally. But I don't know. Canadian games were 90% awful, probably. Back then, Mexican dubs were far. I don't know, man. I'm not sure if Mexican dubs were better. Then again, like the dubs I've heard back in the day for like Dragon Ball were very questionable from South America. But I mean, it's not my culture, so take it as it comes. I think all localizations are going to come into an issue with this sort of stuff. Because like the Canadian dub for Dragon Ball, Ocean Dub still made it like the biggest anime of that period, and to this day it's still a mega franchise. So I don't know if a dub really affects that much. Which, all right, so yeah, I don't. Usually, I'm not really a big fan of these sort of topics, so yeah, that's true, Gabe. But which era do I feel like I connect to the most? I actually don't know these days anymore because because I think that like the more you see of a generation, like of a decade, you kind of get to like more connect with it, unless there's like a very specific time you. Say for example, like I grew up in the late '90s through the 2000s. That's probably when I watched the most anime. So like on television, it would be like the late '90s, whatever they were releasing in that period were like very developmental shows. You know, the Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon. What else was even showing at that time? Like Pokemon, Digimon, Beyblade. But a lot of those were just commercial shows for kids, right? And then I suppose maybe I saw Outlaw Star, and then Big O was also playing as well. But I wasn't huge on neither of those. I'm trying to think of there anything else that really took my eye. Monster, was it Rave Master? Maybe there was a couple different shows like that. You know, there was all going around at that period. I would say I probably became more invested in anime like afterwards when I started actually like searching and finding my own. So that would probably be like the mid 2000s, and that's probably the period where I became like an anime fan and not someone who just watched it on television. So like yeah, the I would probably say that period of time where I was watching stuff from and I guess yeah, during that period I was watching things that came up from the late 90s to the mid 2000s to about 2007. So like that period was probably the most important for me, like developmentally wise. But like I don't, I would say that's like from a personal perspective, I could see that being the one that I was where I was at that period. And I think that's for a lot of people. Like when people say stuff like the best generation was this, it's probably the generation they grew up with, or the generation where they like whatever the era was where they saw the most stuff growing up, or when they were like in a very impressionable age. I mean, since I've become quite a big fan of like sort of like that late '70s sort of era, or like the early '80s. I think those are really interesting times. But I mean, all of them have their own pros and cons. I heard Primal was good by old Gendy. I didn't actually get to see it. I did see the first episode of his robot. Like, was it called Symbiotic Titan or something? I remember seeing the first or second episode of that way back, like a decade or two ago, and I thought it was really cool. But I never watched any more. Um, I'm looking forward to this Popeye film because I saw his Popeye pilot years ago and was like, oh, this looks great. This looks like a ton of fun. I used to watch Popeye when I was younger. I mean, to be fair, a lot of the stuff I was watching when I was younger was like classic Golden Age cartoons. Like the Warner Brothers stuff, like a lot of Looney Tunes, Tiny Toons, I guess count Animaniacs, Freakazoid. I was really big into Freakazoid when I was like 5 or 6. Really liked that show. Um, and like yeah, so Woody Woodpecker wasn't huge on him to be honest, but like yeah, mainly the sort of the old Warner cartoons I watched a ton of. And Tom and Jerry, and the old Warner cartoons I was really enamored with. Until to be fair, to this day, yeah, still. My nephew watches them. Oh, he used to for a bit. He hasn't seen them in a while. He kind of goes in and out of like interests. But he really used to like watching those too. And I sit down and watch them with him. How's it going, Trash Can on the Bench? Very interesting name. Yeah, I think I saw the pilot for Infinity Train. Someone's recommended that, and I've seen little clips of the Harley Quinn show. They seem fine, though I don't really get time to just like sit down and watch like random shows because I'm pretty compulsive. So like I don't like to start new stuff where I'm like, well, if I watch this, what might happen is I would spend the rest of the day or week just like getting distracted by watching it instead of doing work. So like very rarely do I like pick anything up like that these days. Yeah, I watched like the first 2 seasons of Gravity Falls. I think that was pretty fun. Nice glasses. Yeah, I like these glasses too. Yeah, so it's on Eragora. So it is the Eragora book. really well. I'm glad you're sinking your teeth into it. I think it'll be a really interesting video. I'm glad someone's doing it. It's good, yeah. It's good. To be fair, it's good to have stuff physically. I mean, it's good to use them as props. That's how I've been thinking recently. Sometimes it's like, yeah, it's good to have something physically that you can show people in front of you if you can get away with that. Yeah, I remember you saying about the lost media stuff you found. I mean, that's really cool. Finding all that lost media stuff. I mean, I think it'll be a very like worthwhile video if it all comes together. Hopefully, YouTube doesn't give you such a harsh time because obviously the topic is quite harsh, and you know how YouTube kind of be sometimes. So I hope they don't like start messing you about with that. But I guess edit smartly, and you'll probably be alright. Jesus Christ, what is my computer doing? Really messing around right now. Like messing around with like audio. It's bouncing between audio. Okay. Oh, god damn it. My computer is really messing me. Leave me alone, computer. I don't care about the audio jacks right now. Leave me be. Okay, anyway, wait. Kino is a good show. Yeah. I've heard so. I've always liked the vibe of Kino. I just never sat down and watched the whole thing. I probably attempted to watch episode 1 many years ago, but I don't remember much of it. I mean, this is how I used to do things back in the day. I might even mention this in the ARMS video because it's kind of relevant to how I watched Alpha and Lead. I'd come home from school. I'd go on a website called Just Dubs. Yeah, I was a real connoisseur back then. Just Dubs. I was like, I ain't fucking reading. Like I said, I can't read. So I sat down. I'd go through the alphabetical list and I'd click alphabetically and I'd watch the first episode of whatever show was on there, on the alphabetical list that I was looking through, or whatever title sounded interesting to me. I'd sit down, I'd watch episode 1, and I'd realize by the end of episode 1, am I going to continue watching this or am I going to watch something else? And that's how we did it. So I'd just go through it, be like, okay, let's try this episode 1. How's this going? Okay, didn't really care for this one. I'm going to move to the next show. And then we did that. And that's just generally how it went. Or like sometimes I would still go and I just have a list of like, what will I continue watching later? And that's how we did it back then. That's how I did it. So if I watched Kino, maybe I got distracted. Maybe I don't know if I got to K. Maybe I never got that far. Yeah, I know they made was it a remake, the new one? I didn't know anything about the newest version. So I haven't really like looked into it, but like I'm more interested in the original show anyway, because of the pedigree of who's working on it and like the look of it. The new one seems a bit glossy for my liking. Not really my thing. Yeah. Yeah, I saw She-Ra season 1. I never watched any of the other seasons after though, but I've heard they're good. I just never really sat down for it. And Invincible. Invincible's that's a funny story because I read Invincible back when I was in college. I went for a big phase of just reading a fuck ton of comic books because of the college I went to had a huge comic section, and I would go to like the local libraries and I'd go to like the library next to my college. I had like a free bus pass, so sometimes I would just go and I would just like hawk comic books and I'd go off and I'd read them on the bus, or I'd read them before I got to school in the morning, whatever. And I just read it all. I just keep reading, and then I'd come home and maybe before bed I'd read a comic book, and I was a machine. I was just reading all these comic books, and I read a big hardback for Invincible Volume 1 or Volume 2, whatever they had in the local library, and I read it all, and I was like, shit, this is cool as fuck. And I read it, and then I couldn't find a Volume 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever afterwards. I think they were all out of print or something. So I was just like, maybe one day I'll pick it up again. But I enjoyed what I read very much. Probably covers the first half of the season 1 or whatever it would be. And yeah, then I heard it was turning into a television show, and I was like, oh great, I hope this really works out for the author, and they reprint it all. Maybe I'll actually start reading it again. And they got fucking J.J. Jonasson to play the main character's dad, and I thought that was fucking funny. But yeah, it looks like people were really enjoying the show, so that's nice. Honestly, I didn't care for episode 2 of Samurai Jack season 5. someone brought up. I thought it was very there was a sort of element to it I didn't like. It was very like movie actiony, and like the way it was orchestral. Like I feel like it wasn't to the spirit of what Samurai Jack was. It was very high octane and angry, and like in a way the music was far too loud. Like it wasn't as contemplative. There were like some weird animation errors, and I much preferred the style of the first episode. I don't know. There was stuff about I just really wasn't a fan of, and like I think the episodes went up and down, and I think there's always going to be the issue when you're talking about a series that is so beloved and trying to like collapse the whole series into like a finished product with one season. It's never going to work out. And like yeah, these but like there's some fun stuff in there, and it is at least they got like some closure. But yeah, you were never going to get like the ideal ending for that show. It was never going to happen, I'm afraid. I mean, it looks fine, I guess, but I think that like Gendy's done more interesting stuff. I think stylistically, it was a little uniformed in terms of like the series was very experimental at times and had a very particular way of doing things, and the season 5 was more like rudimentary in all ways. And losing like Marco, is it Mako, right? Losing Mako really hurt the show because he is fucking Aku, so it just really was hard for them to ever come back from that, quite frankly. Have a good one, Spence. I hope you have a nice evening. How's it going, Monte Cristo? I hope you're doing well. Thanks, Jade. Yeah, I like these glasses too. I enjoy wearing them. Part of my brand now, I guess. All right, let's have a look. Since you watch anime partly as a profession, have you ever felt like it is a burden? I mean, kind of. Have I learned to balance yourself in a way to always keep? I mean, you kind of just have to do it. Like, I don't know if there's anything like motivation. Motivation is like repetition, that just like, forced repetition. A lot of the times, you just have to kind of get into like a pattern of doing it. And, yeah, just kind of creating routines. And I think I'm still learning a lot of that stuff. Like, watching stuff, if I get in the right position, like, if I get it all set up correctly and I'm in the right if I get it set up on like my projector or whatever, and I just like have the playlist going, and I just sit down with a notepad, and there's nothing can distract me, and like I'm too far away from the computer to fucking get distracted, I can probably just go through it and do what I do. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely an act to it all. You got a lot of growing pains there. How's it going, Hidden Gen Gamer? Irish. It's Irish descent, and I didn't see Love Wave because I've been watching everything else. I might still sit down and watch it. The thing is, I think I got like one or two like odd routes that I might look into, but I'm probably not going to say much about it. The thing with Love Wave is it's not like specifically ARMS. I mean, it's like one of their like pseudonyms, and I've really focused more on their studio opposed to like the more shadowy stuff that they allegedly did or didn't do, depending on how you look at it. I've tried to focus more on that, and I'm mainly talking about like their progression. I haven't talked like specifically about titles from like I bring up titles when they're relevant to the directors in the TV era, or like a little bit further on from like Kite and beyond. But like I didn't really want to go through every like H anime or illicit content one by one, because that's the way you get banned on YouTube, right? Editing around that stuff is not exactly particularly easy, and if I'm not, I'm just showing like people standing around. But I will try to sit down. Maybe like after the stream, I'll actually sit down and have a look. I mean, I know like it's like-minded people who worked on other projects. I think the guy that worked on that one is definitely one of the regulars at Arms. Primal's are leaps and bounds above anything else in the Western animation. Oh yeah, it's all like silent, isn't it? Yeah, I probably will have to watch it sometime. I mean, Symbiotic Titan seemed like a cool show, but yeah, like I said, I only watched like an episode or two. It was on like Cartoon Network, wasn't it, back in the day? I mean, it wasn't over here though. Why haven't they adapted 20th Century Boys? I don't know. You have to ask the creator. Maybe it's a difficult one to adapt. Maybe they just don't want to. maybe there's a million reasons, I guess. Owning something physical adds more personality to your video. Yeah, I think there's definitely a truth to that. Makes editing easier since you have to you can just toss the thing around freely. Yeah, I think it was fun doing that in the Redline video. Even though I only used it one sequence, having it like in my jacket and then like throwing it around. I think there was something fun about that, having it like in front of you. Like there's you know, it's like the old. I remember there's one. God fucking me and my fucking that guy with the glasses stories. You know, fucking Linkara back in the day, and the Lightbringer himself. He had this like rule where he'd only review comic books that he had like physically, and I mean sometimes that's a little bit of a silly rule, I guess. But I mean, if you can do it, you can do it, right? But what it does have in that sort of like goofy way is that like, you know, you get to see them holding the comic book and having it in front of them, and there is something quite tactile, especially when you're reading a book, to have it in front of you so you can look at it and show it, and you know, do stuff with it. In the same way, like Angry Video Game Nerd, like he always has the cartridge that he can like slam into the toaster or whatever random shit. Like there's something quite physical about it, and that can be fun. Thoughts on the increasing popularity of Sakuga fandom? It's been around for decades. It's just like it's like the easiest time to ever to get into it, because like the archive is so big now, and it's never been easier to find that stuff. It's all over Twitter. It's all over their own archive. You can find like collections of them on YouTube. I mean, it's fun. It's fun looking at what cool animators do, and if it gives you an eye for like what animator does what. I think that can be a good way into like learning more about like individual animators or style, or what it means to be like an animator in the industry, or that industry specifically. I think it's fun. Obscure YouTubers that I've stumbled upon whose videos were impressed, that I were impressed by. I'm not gonna remember off the top of my head, I guess. That I've just like stumbled on through like YouTube. The thing is, like, the last time that happened to me, the last time I actively remember being like, oh, this is cool. This like really small channel like put out a video that's growing some steam, and like it's cool. I was gonna send them an email like for encouragement. Like literally like a day or two later, they like jumped over my like subscriber count at the time, and that was Jacob. What's his second name? Is it Jacob? Jacob Geller. When Jacob Geller released like his video on Shadow of the Colossus, like he had like 4,000 subscribers, and I saw the thumbnail and I was like, fuck, I love Shadow of the Colossus, let's watch that video. And I thought it was cool, and I looked for his battle catalog, and he had a video on like architecture and like there's different like in Ico and Shadow of the Colossus, like kind of like a very niche sort of video, but I was like, this is really fucking cool. And like a lot of the videos he had going, like they were like pretty niche, like weird games that he was choosing, but like I liked what he was going for. But then he just like blew up, and now he's like 5-6 times bigger than me. So I'm wondering if there's anyone else in particular. I don't know. I'm not really going out looking for the most obscure people. I have friends who are obscure, obviously, who are like smaller creators who are cool. Like in the chat, I'm pretty sure we have Hazel Neville Talks, who always does great MVs, and Hayden. Hayden's work's fun. Watch Hayden's videos, and watch Hazel's as well. There's two for you. Yeah, it's better than a JPEG. I think there's definitely a quality of something being 3D. Oh, sorry, I'm just seeing that. I got some chats. I didn't see them until now. Let's have a look. Did I watch Love Wave? So this was hidden. Sorry, I must have got to it a bit late. Also, Meze Forte and Kite. Yes. So Love Wave, I did not see. Don't know if I'll mention it in the video or not. I can probably check out the first episode. I don't know if it will have much relevance unless the director also did some stuff later. I will have a look into it. But yeah, Meze Forte and Kite I have watched multiple times. I was rewatching some Meze Forte and Kite scenes the last couple of days because I've been writing that part of the script. I'm waiting on a double collection, which is coming from America, which might take fucking forever, for like the Blu-ray for both Kite and Kite Liberator, because apparently there's some interviews, and I know they released a director's commentary for Kite Liberator. Oh, there's a cat. and I had a version of it that had the director's commentary on it, but it did not have the subs for it. So I'm wondering if my DVD happens to just have the commentary on it. It might not do, but it would be really nice because Kite Liberator doesn't have a huge amount of info on it besides the Japanese-only log that ran. What do you want, cat? You coming in? Oh, come on, come in. God damn it, cat. Come on. You coming up? You coming up? Don't knock the camera. Avoid knocking the camera. Come. I don't know if you're actually in camera shade now. The camera might be too far away. This is why I usually had it lower. I mean, I heightened the camera a bit. What is it? Are you coming in? What are you doing? Alright, I don't know. Oh, okay. That's really funny. You can just see like little ears, you know, little ears popping out, and that's it. Sorry, Kat, you interrupted my super chat reading. So yeah, we have watched Meso and Kites multiple times. I think I might be a bigger fan of Forte. I really like the cast of Forte, and then like seeing them in DSA. But Kite, they're both really like solid, like gritty OVAs, with like a slight compromise to them in terms of why they were created and how they were created. Though I think this is more apparent with like Mezzo Forte, since this is apparently something that Ametsu said before, that like they just threw in like some illicit scenes to get the funding. So with like Forte, that really shows, because it just feels like there's just these two. Each episode just has one scene, like one, really lewd scene, just for the sake of it. And they're like both fake outs. They're both not real. It's like one of them's a dream and one of them's like a sex robot or something. So like it is kind of weird that that's just there, and they're not quite as creatively made as the rest of the. They're just sort of there to get these things funded and do what you got to do to get you like actually something created in the end of the day. The Mezzo Forte is on YouTube, like the whole thing, which is pretty cool. Sorry, there's another one here. So this is from Mr. Brooks himself. Hey man, what movie or comic novel would you love to see made into an animated show? Anime or just like normal? PS, I want that jacket. Yeah, my friend bought me this jacket for my birthday. This is a Yakuza jacket, from the video games. Yeah, really cool jacket. I like wearing it all the time. I want to wear it on like a video because I think it'd be good for like my set, because it's kind of like mostly quite a light tone, so it'll probably like pop quite nicely over the black background. Comic or novel I'd like to see made into an animated show. I'm generally not like a huge fan of like adapting stuff in that way. The last time I was like really curious about that was like JoJo Part 4, and I felt really disappointed when I saw JoJo Part 4, because it was like, oh, this really didn't live up to like my aspirations of what this would look like animated a lot of the time. At times it looks good, but like, yeah, there was a lot of scenes I remember that like were really pivotal for me reading it and being like, they just didn't do them the way I wanted them to do them. I'm trying to think if there would have been anything in particular. I would have liked to see. All right, actually, here's one. I would have loved to see Akira director and Mobius make that film they were gonna do in the 90s, and it was for one of like Mobius's more like abstract comics. So they would have just been like them messing around and just doing whatever. So like they would either got TMS or like Sunrise or someone just to like throw a bunch of money into something that had like Kurosawa's name on it and Mobius's name and Otomo's name all together. And I imagine even if it was a mess, it would have been a really fun, messy mess. That's what I would love to see. In fact, just Mobius's work in general, I think it would have been cool to see some more adaptations of them. Although, like, I don't think they'd ever get the love they really deserve, just because they're so articulate. Like, it would be difficult to transfer them. Maybe like a short. Like, yeah, we're kind of beyond the 2D era in that regard, so it's probably too late now. Let me just check for the other ones. What are my thoughts on Jeffrey Katzenberg? Sorry, I don't know who this is. Oh, Katzenberg, producer. Is he Disney? He was like an old Disney producer, wasn't he? Katzenberg. I'm trying to think. When was he? Is he still working there now, or was he the old one? Was he like the Disney Renaissance guy? Oh wait, sorry. Oh, was this the guy that left Disney? Sorry, he's the guy who left Disney to make Shrek, right? And DreamWorks. Is that him? Is that Jeffrey Katzenberg? I'll fucking wiki it if I need to. So he was the producer of like Little Mermaid, Beast, Aladdin. This is like the era of Disney I grew up in. Although like when I was growing up, I wasn't a huge Disney fan. It wasn't really for me. I liked Aladdin, Lion King. They were fine. I was probably bigger out of all these ones. Aladdin was the one I liked the most. I was more of a Roger Rabbit kind of guy. But I do really like Shrek 1. I haven't watched Shrek 2 again since, but my friends watched Shrek 1 recently. Yeah, I really do like Shrek 1. I think it's a really solid film. Memes aside. I don't know if I've seen Madagascar. Never really had a strong attachment to it. I liked the first Kung Fu Panda film when it came out, but I haven't watched it since. I saw like 2/3 of Kung Fu Panda 2. That seemed alright. I saw the first How You Train Your Dragon. Was kind of like whatever about it. Yeah, so there you go. That's how I feel about it. That's how it'd be. I don't know. So that's the super chats. Oh, I just saw Van Ober in the chat. How you doing, Van Ober? I see you're asking me about Shingo. Yeah, Shingo Tamagawa, right? Is this the guy who did Pupuria, or how do you say it? Puparia? The let me double check this. Yeah, the guy who made Puparia, right? I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly. All right. So I saw the video on Archipel about him. I'll get the story because I always say it. He gave me like major anxiety when I saw his video on like Archipel, because I just knew he was doing stuff that would like take months and like days and days upon like extra time to do stuff, and like I can just feel the struggle on him. Like he doesn't seem to have a light box. He uses a scanner instead of a photo press, and he's doing everything by hand, which, I mean, fair to him, but he's got like an old ass tablet instead of like a more fresh one. Like I feel like he should start some funding to just get newer stuff to like make his life easier, because the amount of I know how long, because I've done it before with one of my old projects. I know how long it takes to scan in every frame, because scanners are so fucking slow. Oh, cat's going. You leaving, cat? Am I too loud? I'm sorry. I'm getting too into it. There you go. You can leave now, cat. Bye bye. Alright, so yeah, scanners, like, per frame, it's probably going to take you at least a minute and a half to do every frame. If you have 5,000 frames and you have to do a minute and a half to scan every one of them, instead of like a photo press. It's like my camera here, right? If I had this camera set up like this, and this camera isn't great, but if I had it set up on like video mode or whatever, like Blu-ray video mode, and then I had another tripod next to it, and I just put I stuck all my photos, all my frames together, and just 1, 2, 3, just kept putting them like onto a piece of like blue tack or whatever, I don't know. I think a process like that, even though it would be really rough and ragged and my camera's not the best for it, would, like, if I was doing something rough, that would be faster than scanning in every frame. That would absolutely be faster. It's the reason I don't do too much like pencil stuff right now. It's just because the scanner's downstairs and I don't want to spend like hours scanning in like pencil and paper. I would rather work on my new tablet. Not like I wouldn't do more stuff on paper again. It's just like, you pick your battles. But yeah, I think that I really love his short. I do think there are ways of cutting around it a little bit. That's how I feel about it. That I feel like there are ways that he could reduce the damage that he's going to do to himself and time spent without like compromising his vision. I think that's what I'm feeling. But I guess it's up to him how he wants to do it all. And I only know what I've seen in his documentary and his short, so like I have a limited knowledge. Maybe he's changed things up. I'd love to see him start an Indiegogo or like a Patreon, and just like start getting more resources to make this like a more stable thing. That's what I would love to see, even if it's like hiring more people, because I did the maths. in my server with someone before, and I think I found that like even if this guy worked 8 years straight at the pace he's currently going, or like 10 years straight, he'd have like 8 minutes, which is just like if he wants to. I don't know. I don't know what his goal is, but if his goal is to make like a short film or a film on his own, it's gonna take him decades to finish it. So like he's got to pick his battles. That's how I feel about it. I think he did not want to invest in new tech and just says he's got. He seems to live quite a slow life. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying. Yeah, I mean the thing is though, like, because I understand his like methodology being like I don't want to invest in new tech, but he's using a shitty tablet and he's using Photoshop and he's using a scanner. Like he's just using the things that are making his life harder. Like a photo press isn't new tech. They've been using them for decades upon decades in the animation industry. He's working in the Sunrise building. They probably have like 3 of them. I swear, because I don't know how else you're gonna get all the paper stuff on the thing. They must have like a photo press, like, you know, something that you put the photo in, then you put that down and you take the photo. They must have one or 2 of those. Maybe he's not allowed to use them, but like he could probably set up his own somehow. But I think I admire what he's doing, but I do think there are lots of shortcuts. And I always thought about making a video like this, but like it just isn't in my schedule right now. And I think by the time I do it, no one would fucking remember this guy. I mean, I don't say that like it's a bad thing. I just think that like trends sort of they bounce around a lot. So unless he makes a new short, I probably won't get the time to do this anytime soon. But I was interested trying to do like I made an animated short in like a month, like that kind of like weird YouTubey bollocks title, where like I use his movie as like a template, and I go, here's lots of fast ways that you can speed up your process as someone who works like on a cheaper budget, who doesn't want to go as hard, but like you can still do some of this stuff, still get the kind of similar effect, but this is how you can do that by like cutting corners, you know, like, so maybe we instead of doing like every frame, like hand painting every frame on paper, we could like paint 24. Maybe we can paint like a couple sheets of paper with like paints or like watercolors, and then we can just scan those in and then create a like 24 frames per second loop of like texture paints that you can like rotate, and then we can then block color it on our tablet and then add in as an overlay all the like 24-second like loop of like painted animation thing, and then we can just recolorize different sections of it using different techniques. Like that could be a way of like getting the appearance of something that's like traditional, because it is, but then like as a texture overlay on something that you're doing digitally to try and get that feeling. Like it might be slightly different, but like on a far away shot, you might not even be able to tell the difference. That kind of stuff. Or like messing around with Blender. But like I don't think I'm good enough, honestly, but like I would love to do a video like that. Just don't know how I would approach it. Like, am I going to redraw his? Maybe that's how I'd have to do it. Instead of making my own short, I'd have to like do my own like rag and tag 1 month version of his short. See if I can do 3 minutes in like a month or 2. Because it would be a funny challenge, but like my version would probably look terrible. But I might be able to show at least a couple techniques and show people that, like the process of making something. Yeah, I think it would be a fun video to make, though I would try not to do it in a way that would disrespect the original creator. More just as an exercise to show people different ways of doing stuff when you work on your own. That's how I'd like to see it. He's known before this short. Yeah, he was like, he worked at Sunrise, right? Did you follow him because he was teasing about it? I'm sure. I follow him on Twitter now, I think, but like I didn't follow yeah, I follow him now, I think, on Twitter. I didn't follow him beforehand, though. I didn't know who he was before I saw the short. But when I saw the short, I was really, like, taken aback. I can't even remember how I saw the short. Maybe it was recommended me on YouTube. But, like, yeah, I just remember seeing it and was like, fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. What a great short. It's really my vibe. But, you know, it's that Angel's Egg kind of feeling. But, sorry, I need to go back way back in the chat. Like, I got way distracted there for a second, everyone. Where were we all at? Alright, where was I? I might do I don't know if I'll do anything about Kyoto Animation. I tried writing something once, just didn't know how to approach it. What did I do before starting YouTube? Worked degree in illustration and the arts, kind of more vague, it was a bit more open. Worked in a university for a bit, did a bunch of like manual labor jobs and shit jobs for a while, worked in the cinema while making videos. I was making videos while doing other random jobs for ages, and now I do this mostly full time, kind of, but like not necessarily because I make the money, but because I got the savings. I'm working. It's an investment. I'm talking to people. I'm looking at ways to keep the channel going and hoping I don't crash and burn. But you know, that's the experience. Hey, cat. How's it going? You're back again. I should have adjusted the camera because you're not on it. Maybe I need to like move it back or something. Let me try. Hopefully I didn't just knock the camera off. But... I see, yeah, the light sort of... Oh, okay. Now I look really short. Oh, you can't even see the cat. Never mind. Alright, let me get closer to the camera. There we go. Maybe a bit more. Alright. Yeah, Hilda was pretty good. From what I saw. I think I once met the people who made that, because it was made at Nobrow, and they did. They used to go around unis. We talked to Nobrow back in the day when I was still in university, before they'd made the show. I haven't seen the manga Change 123, I'm afraid. You swear a lot more in my live stream. Well, you see, when I'm off the cuff, I might swear a bit more. But, you know, when I write a video, I try and avoid putting swears in the video because, you know, they can get me demonetized. So that's kind of how it goes. Like, if I get demonetized on the stream, who gives a shit? But, like, in a video, I try and keep it more clean. I had a 15-year-old cat to sleep. Wait. Oh, sorry. Well, I think, are you saying you had to put them to sleep as in... If that's the case, I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks. My cat's like 20 now, I guess. She's getting pretty old herself. But yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed the Return to the Cat Returns video. Fun video to make. It was kind of like a short thing. I tried to be a bit more flowery with the words I used in it. Try to play it up a bit more, sort of mess around. Yeah, I enjoy, like, Cat Returns was like the first Ghibli thing I saw, so like there was a sort of like admirance, like nostalgia to it. But I thought it was a little hard to cover because it's just very simple. But I do think like the layers that has to do with like how it approached and it connects to Whisper of the Heart is very cool. Yeah, I'm doing alright, Van. Sorry, I'm going in late now because this is the first time I've seen your comment. Next project is on ARMS, the studio. Wait, Argo, why do we keep talking about a hot tub anyway? Like, am I missing something out here? I don't have one in my room personally, but you know, maybe one day. Advice for someone in their 20s who feels directionless, that's all 20-year-olds. I guess try and find something you're passionate in that you can sort of follow. Though, like, it might just come, it might not. It's really hard to say. Being in your 20s is like a very turbulent time, especially when you start off. You don't know what the fuck you're doing with your life. And who says you even will? Will I be drawing tonight? I might do some cutting out. I might do some thumbnail work later on. If I'm feeling it. Like, it's about 8:15 now. If I catch up with chat, I might like see if my tablet's set up. I had to move everything out of the room. I might do some like minor stuff with my current thumbnail that I'm working on for the next video, and just try to do some adjusting. Though it will, I have to move some stuff around and all that stuff. But yeah, we'll see. Sunrise is making Gundam movies, as they always are in TV shows. They're also working in association with Legendary on the live action one. Anyway, I think I'm mostly caught up these days. We're just chatting. That's all that's happening here. Yeah, it's good to see up and coming directors, right? Ah, Scheming Fox. Scheming Fox bought me this jacket. I know we were talking about it earlier. Very cool jacket. Yakuza jacket. Has a nice dragon on the back. I don't know. Can you see it? It's a cool jacket. We have matching. Well, we don't have matching jackets. We have what would you call it? We have they don't match, but they are yin and yang basically. Our jackets are both Yakuza protagonist jackets, but they're different colors and different things on the back. Very cool. How you doing, babe? Katzenberg. Yeah. Well, I think I already said about Katzenberg. Best anime film to watch after Paprika. What about one of the other films that Con did, like Millennium Actress or Perfect Blue? One of those probably. Would I recommend Cat Returns? It's a very like cute sort of children's film. I don't know, like if it depends if you're into like the Ghibli kind of. It's slightly different because what's unique about Cat Returns is it has like a completely different like young up and coming director. It's really short. It has like interesting connections to Whisper of the Heart because it's basically like the story that Shizuku, Shimizu. What's the character's name in that? Is it Shimizu or Shizuka? Shimizu. Basically, the girl from Whisper of the Heart. I forget her name exactly. Is it Shimizu or Shisumi? I'm not going to be able to remember off the top of my head. But yeah, she is like the Cat Returns is kind of like the story that she was writing, or like the finished version of the story that she was writing in that movie. So for that, there's a kind of a novelty of how they connect in that way, and you can kind of see how like parts of her life reflect into the book in a more fantastical way. Yeah, I don't know if I'd recommend it to everyone, just because like there's like some caveats to it being like kind of like a soft, sort of like cute little kids film, where like the Baron is probably the coolest thing about it. I really like the Baron character, but like it's not gonna blow you away or anything. It's just sort of like very comfy. Oh shit! Fox is wearing his complimentary, is it Nishikiyama jacket. Very cool, very cool. God, if we were both on camera now, it'd be fucking epic. Yeah, apparently they're on insert coin. That's what it says on my little sipper. And I don't think the Cowboy Bebop live action version will be any good. So Fox, how's it going with the Mew Mew Power stuff? Getting back into the flow of work now that lockdown's passed. Yeah, I guess it's passed for now. It's a bit weird. We go in and out of this stuff. I didn't see Maria and the Witch's Flower. Maybe I'll watch this some other time when I do like a video retrospective on that career, if I'm planning to. I've been thinking about it. It might be worth it. I'm wondering when they're releasing the next film though. I know they're doing something for the Olympics, or they were doing something for the Olympics. We'll see. Oh yeah, we definitely need to get a photo, Fox, next time we'll meet up, and when we can put both our jackets on, it'd be very epic. We'll we'll do like the back pose, like we're fucking Street Fighter or whatever. Oh. Sorry, Van. Am I missing a comment that you left? So, up and coming director. Oh, sorry. I thought you were asking would I recommend it, but yeah, I think there's some cool stuff about the Cat Returns. I really appreciate like the color design, the sort of web, like the sort of. It feels a bit different in terms of like it has a different character design, it has a different color palette. It's like different. I think there's a lot of young animators on it. I think that's what's respectable about it. Rewatching it recently as a grown animator and discovering a lot of new things. I imagine that's it because it is like there's a lot of different flourishes to it. I quite like most of the characters are drawn very flat, or like they're painted very flat. So it does feel like of that era. Like like the way they sort of shape stuff and simplify things, the way they use a lot of flat colors. I do like those effects in Cat Returns. It's not quite as I guess I'd say it's not quite as rounded as most of Ghibli's sort of round, shiny appearance. I would, if I was to clarify Ghibli, sometimes it does feel like, yeah, round and somewhat shiny, depending on the film we're talking about, would be like the Ghibli thing. At least to me, I don't know, maybe that's off my top of my head. Getting one from outside nowadays is quite expensive. I want one so bad. Is that from like inside insert coin? Um, sorry, I'm way behind now. Where am I at? I recommend it because I thought it'd refresh your eyes. Yeah, the Satoshi Kon stuff can really sometimes to watch. Yeah, I mean I haven't watched any Satoshi Kon since I finished that video. It's been a while now, I guess. Yeah, his movies are very dense, like a concrete brick of Satoshi Kon, where Cat Returns is very like light. But yeah, I made a video about Cat Returns last year. I had a good time watching it. I still have it on Blu-ray in the other room. I'm glad I bought it because it had like there was a lot of things that went on. People used to say about Cat Returns, and I'd be like, well, where do they hear this? And it's all from like the behind the scenes, like mini documentary that came on the disc. So it's good to have it. Animation-wise, Ponok is blowing it out of the water, but their content is lighter than Ghibli's. Yeah, I think they're going for like really young audiences. If I remember right, the story goes that the director from Ponok, he did marry in the when Marnie was here, and he was aiming for like a more teenage audience, and the film didn't do very well financially for Ghibli, and he got rinsed out by Suzuki. Is it Suzuki? Basically, like the head producer of Ghibli, like rinsed him out on it, which was a bit of a shit thing to do. Like publicly, like the cry that he's like, yeah, should have targeted a different audience. That wasn't a good move. And then they left, which is I mean, what the fuck do you expect when you get like? But I think afterwards they sort of were looking at like, oh, okay, maybe we should aim like much younger to kind of go broader. And I think that's what Ponok has been doing for their shorts. I don't know if they're going to continue doing that. I know they're doing shorts for the Olympics. I know that the main guy had done some little shorts recently as well for some other stuff. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, there isn't like a live action film I think planned anymore for Bebop. It's all it's the Netflix television show. I think that's what they've happened. I don't think there will ever be a movie. I don't think there is anyway. I'm pretty sure they're putting all their eggs into the TV show basket. I don't imagine they're going to do two separate adaptations as movie and TV show. Netflix has the rights to make the TV show version, and they have a cast, and they're recording it. There was an injury, like one of the main cast members had a really bad injury. I think he broke his foot or something. So like production was pulled back by like a year. But I think they're recording probably again now. Maybe, I don't know, COVID, who knows. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see when it comes to like if it's possible to be a good track record or not. I think it is a television show though. Have I seen Devil May Cry Baby? I've seen a little bit, but Cotton. The thing is, Cotton. I read Devilman, so I'm more of the manga kind of guy. I've seen the OVAs too, like the old ones. From what I saw of Crybaby, it's kind of its own thing. Like there's a lot of key details that are similar, but it's very Yuasa. Seems alright. I never watched the whole thing, but like they do have a lot of the cornerstones of the story in it. But I have no opinion otherwise. Netflix seems like a red flag to me. Yeah, Fox, you may be correct there. Okay, looks like... Oh shit. I've just realised I have caught up with chat eventually. Okay. Right, I'm gonna have a double look at a couple things. I'm gonna see, is my tablet... Oh wait, no, it's not plugged in. Okay, that's problem one. I'm gonna have a look at the files I have in Dropbox, which I collected recently. think they went through. Where are they? Alright, there they are. I'm going to throw them in a folder. I'll let it do that. Alright. You know, it would be ideal to have like a different kind of setup in this room. This room is just not ideal for like this sort of recording. I need the angle of everything's a bit weird. Like I probably need the camera. I don't know, there's a lot of things I could do. I have to think about it at some point. I need to probably need like a proper tripod. The tripod I have right now is so like scuffed. It's like such a cheap little shit one. I probably should get like a real one, like an actual one where I could do more with it. Have I shared anything we've drawn in our random sessions? I don't think I have. Not in like a live stream. I don't know. Sometimes I might post one on Twitter. I don't know. I haven't shared much of our like random drawing session stuff. I know Joe wants to do like another one soon, but he's finally set up his new stuff after having that OJ incident where he just lost everything. But yeah, I think he's set up now. So he said the weekend. I'm not sure what day, but like if we got a good day, Saturday, Sunday, whichever day works for most people, we'll probably draw some more stuff. Yeah, I gotta find where I put those wires. Well, I might just like completely say fuck it to it and just do it some other time. Yeah, maybe I'll just do chatting today because I can't be bothered to mess with getting my tablet together and then having to move everything around again. Just because I haven't set it up since I moved everything out of this room. So I CBA. I'll do the thumbnail stuff later, or maybe next stream. It's not really important. I'll do thumbnail stuff. It would just be me like cutting stuff out. So like it's probably not gonna be very entertaining to watch. Me like going around anime faces, cutting them out and colorizing them and sticking them places. So it's not gonna be the most insane watch, to be honest. I'll probably do some drawing. The future of Goro Miyazaki is one of interest when Miyazaki comes time, hopefully not soon. Will Goro be the one in charge of the studio? No, it'll be Suzuki. Goro is just like a contractor. Well, he's like an employee at Ghibli. I don't think he doesn't own the studio. Like it's not like a dynasty stuff. He's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna inherit it from his father. Although I don't know. Maybe I don't know what his will's gonna say, but he might. Maybe I don't know. It depends who Miyazaki gives his rights to when he puts his will out. Probably going to go to Suzuki, but maybe he'll give it to his son. I don't know. I don't know what he owns for the studio, like what he has. I guess he must have some sort of like share in it. I don't fucking know. Oh, you only got a notification now? Oh, you're a bit late. My setup's pretty cool. I think it's alright. It's just like the camera. My camera doesn't go up very high or low. I want more control over how the camera is set up and where it is and adjusting it and moving it around. This room is just not ideal for it, but like it would be nice to have more. And again, like the way it clamps on to the camera as well is like really awkward and doesn't work. I need something that will actually like that you could actually clamp the camera to, like, you know, spin around, like grab it on something. I just need more control over it, and then like I could adjust the angle of the camera and find a good angle for it and throw it somewhere, and I don't know, just do some stuff. The one I have now is such a shaky tripod. It's so shit. I bought it for cheap like ages ago just because I was like, oh, okay, whatever. But I need to find like a proper one, to be honest now. I should just get one. I should just bite the bullet and get like a proper tripod that has like control. Because this one just isn't like maneuverable, or like it doesn't do the job it needs to. Sunday. All right, we'll try and do something Sunday then. Yeah, it was orange juice. My friend, like one of our friends from my old uni days, he happened to spell. He had a Mac, and he had like a MacBook, and he used to do like all his illustration work on it. And one day he had a bad incident with some OJ. Probably spilled some OJ on the into the vents, and he blew the battery and more, and the motherboard. And yeah, like it was not a good one. It was not a good time, not a good recovery. He talked to someone about it, and they said it was basically cheaper to buy a new one. So that's what he's had to do, and he's spent some time just like setting up and trying to get everything working with his like Cintiq and other stuff. So yeah, it was a big old F in the chat for my friend Joe. I should draw Linkara. My tablet isn't set up now, so I can't be bothered to draw him. But I did bring up Linkara earlier because, of course, I did. Uh, I have drawn Linkara in the past, but I don't know if it was a very good one. I don't know. I think Joe's Linkara was much better than mine. Um, I haven't read much horror psychological stuff recently. The only mangas I read that were like horror psychological of any recent time was probably Uzumaki, because when I used to go to uni, my roommate had it, so I borrowed it off him and read it. Have I done a collab before with Beyond Ghibli? I haven't done it, but I know him, and Beyond Ghibli and me actually live basically in the same part of the country. So when lockdown's like properly a little bit more open, I'm probably gonna say hi to him because yeah, like I do know him. Yeah, I didn't know he lives so close to where I do. Like it's not exactly like close, but we do live in the same area. So if I take a train, I could probably go see him somewhere. But yeah, I'll probably wait until I get vaccinated before I do something like that. You know, it's a little bit over the place. But yeah, I don't know. Like I should message him about it. But I've talked about it before. Like I was planning to do. I was thinking about doing a Hosoda video in the summer, but realistically, time wise, I want to focus on doing an Arno project, like a really big Arno project, coming up. So like, I don't think I'm gonna have time to hit when Hosoda is releasing his new film. So I said to him like, I'm probably not gonna be able to do it, but like if he does a video on Hosoda, I'd be happy to like do a section or something with him on his channel. And there are some other ideas I had. Like at some point we'll probably like mix paths, however it may be. But you know, at some point in the future. He's a cool dude. Different Joe though. Different. When I'm talking about the Joe, I know it's not that Joe. Have I watched any? I'm guessing this is. I don't have to say this term, but it's basically Chinese animation. I think, right? The only one I've watched recently is the follow up to Legend of Hay Creators. The one with like the goat boy, his werewolf friend, and the vampire who like live in the city. I forgot what the name is of it now. What's the name of it? I watched the first season of that, and then I watched a little bit of the second season, but then like forgot. But like I should probably finish that up. I know Legend of Hay season 2, the animation TV, whatever, like Bilibili version, is coming out at some point soon, or already started coming out. So that's pretty hype. I should probably catch up with that, but that's pretty much it. Just those things. Yes, thank you, Hazel. Hazel knows All Saints Street. That All Saints Street is the one I'm thinking of. I rock that look. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good look. It's probably what I'll be wearing on camera more. You have, yeah, we did draw Linkara before. That's true, Fox. Always drawing a Linkara. Such a character. I mean, he is such a character. It's true. Don't mind me, Fox. You can hijack it. We haven't talked in a while. You can be in the stream if you want. But if you got to go off and do something, man, it's fair enough. Go eat some dinner or something. You know, keep it up. I'll send you a message later on. We'll chat about what we're doing on Sunday or whatever else. We'll figure out what we're doing with our lives. Hopefully. Worst anime adaptations? I don't really keep charge of that sort of thing. I'm trying to think. Because the thing is, I don't really fall into like hyping up anime, like manga to anime adaptations, because I kind of realize the reality of like the industry. So like I kind of, I don't really expect any manga adaptation to go well, ever. I don't. I don't really. I can't really think of anywhere like the thing is, first things first, I'd have to be like invested enough to have read the manga, which it probably ain't happening. I very rarely sit down and watch them. I mean, I guess the obvious one people tend to talk about is Berserk. Well, like at least like the CGI one, right? The TV version, not the like the final version. They did some cleanup on like the DVD, Blu-ray version, slightly less egregious, but you know. Um, and yeah, I mean, I haven't even watched the CGI Berserk. I don't really give a shit about it, so like, I'm not. I don't. I'm not like, yeah. Of course, the CGI Berserk looks awkward. Like Berserk's a really detailed manga. It's not going to be like one that's easily adaptable. I think the '98 version was as good as adaptation as we were probably going to get. It was quite shockingly, even though it's missing parts and there are parts that don't. Like, you know, the adaptation kind of cuts bits and pieces and sort of it has its own like issues. I think it was probably as good as you're gonna get as an adaptation. It's a very pretty looking show, great soundtrack. Everything else since has just been like, yeah, yeah, whatever, I don't care. But yeah, I don't keep up with them. And I think sometimes I might be in the majority that is like, I'm usually more interested in the anime version than I am manga. Like I have more attachment to like animation than I do like reading manga. So like I'm sometimes find some of the changes to be more interesting, even if like the core fan base hate that they changed whatever. Speaking of which, like going through the new video I'm doing, like Alphen Lead has a very different ending in the manga, and I did skim through most of the reading it, like just beyond the point of where the anime stops, and like how they ended it there. And I sort of went through and speed read like the actual ending in the manga of Alphen Lead, and I thought it was fucking awful. I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm so glad they didn't do this. But like, there are definitely people in the community who are definitely more into like the manga expanded version of everything, because it gets to do a couple more things and like pay off certain things that are said in different ways. But yeah, I was not a fan of how they did stuff. And I think the same could be said of like his follow up that was similar. In that like the manga went for like another 2 years, so there was a lot more story that could have been told that the anime had to like compress down into 13 episodes. So you know, it happens. True. Yeah, I was talking about Naruto. I was talking about Naruto Shippuden episode 82 and how it was so well directed, as if you were watching a movie. So I agree with that. Yeah. Wait, is episode 82? Is that the one that Beck director did, or is that a different one? Sorry, like here's the thing with Shippuden, right? I stopped watching Shippuden like during the part where Naruto was learning how to do the Green Sharon like Shuriken energy Rasengan. That's when I stopped watching it when I was a kid. It was like sort of in the in between arc where Sai was trying to learn how to be friends with people. That's as far as I ever got into Naruto Shippuden. So I didn't see anything after that point. So I'm not sure what episode that is, unfortunately. Okay, one s- 1 second, everyone. 1 second. I'm gonna need to take a second, like a small break. I'll be back in 2 seconds. All right. I'm gonna turn off my mic and I'll be back. Mwah. All right, I'm back. Water. Good. I needed that. All right. Yeah, because like it's Pero, right? It's Pero. So like Naruto had like Pero did like Bleach, Naruto, Boruto, Yu Yu Hakusho, Mew Mew Power, or Tokyo Mew Mew as it was called. They got like a lot of impressive technical fight guys, right? And you know they really blow it out in certain scenarios. WLC, Wick. Let me just look this one up. Team 10. Oh, shush, Crunchyroll. I was just looking for a plot synopsis. Asuma's funeral is held in the Hidden Leaf Village amid a deep sadness. And lone absentee, unable to get over the loss. Sounds sad. Yeah. Actually, yeah, it looks a little different than usual as well. I can tell they've definitely got some different sort of framing and shadows. A little bit more, a little more wild. Hayato Date, Toshiyuki Tsuru, other directors, but I can't find more. Were they staples at Puro or were they guest directors? But you know how it goes with these sort of things. I think it's cool when they give them a little bit more like leniency. I'm not really big on like adaptations that follow the manga like panel by panel. I think that's really boring. Which is like when when people bring it like the David Production stuff, like David Production's pretty safe. And like there's definitely some good things they do, but I kind of do wish they'd take more risks, but they're just not the kind of studio they are. I think there's definitely been some weird, well, there's some weirder stuff in part 5 for sure, I guess. Okay. The artists for One Punch Man were insane. The fight, I don't know, man. The only art I've seen, of of One Punch Man's director, one, is his webcomic version, the original, and I much prefer his version to the. I don't know. I'm more a fan of his original version than I am of like any of the other adaptations. Like Madhouse and the staff that worked on One Punch Man did like really strong work, especially with like the choreography, the timing, the Sakuga and all that stuff. But I'm probably still a bigger fan of like what One was doing in his original version. I think it's kind of more to the point. But yeah, I definitely think that Madhouse and like all the people they were taking in at that time, like it's really like a lightning bolt moment, which is like really cool to look back on. But yeah, I don't think you can beat One when it comes to that. I think his style is just really fun, and like it's just like really breezy and fun. That's what I think of his original version. Okay, Suru co-directed Bebop. Oh, okay, the movie, but Hayato is just Naruto, I guess. Oh, okay. So like it's the co-director from Bones then, because I know like a lot of the early Bones team were on the movie. So is he like a Bones boy? I don't know. Maybe they just had like a lot of because isn't that how it goes with like a lot of these sort of manga adaptations, that there's like episodes that they know are like, okay, this is like a really important moment, so we're going to put like a lot more staff, or we're going to give this episode more time, or I don't know, like the schedule behind the scenes is like, oh, we're going to put on like a lot of like, or like I guess everything just comes together and you get like all the like a lot of like legendary staff members come together, or however it may be, like certain staff members are given more time to do certain things when it comes to the big important moments, like the salary workers opposed to like the freelancers. Animation director, known for the feature Naruto movie 3. Interesting. Oh my god, this guy did Gungrave? That's pretty fucking sick. He's the Gungrave guy. I think I only watched the part of Gungrave, but Gungrave is just such a silly concept that they made it into like a video game and an anime at the same time. Kind of love that about it. Also did some key animation on Berserker. Cool. Definitely been on a lot of Naruto as well. 4 episode directors, unit directors, storyboards, unit director, key animation. Seems like he's been all over. That's cool. Yeah, I said Gungrave. Because they made it like into like a video game, Gungrave, and he was also like an anime. It was like double up, very like of its time, you know, 2000s sort of edgy stuff, very stylishy. Like to the design, I'm pretty sure like wasn't the design done by, like really specific talent who did the like character design as well. Yeah, each episode can have different direct. Yeah, sure, for sure. Well, isn't that usually how it goes? Like, well, most episodes. Isn't that usually how it goes? Like, most episodes have different directors because you might be working on the 2 different episodes at the same time. Though that's usually how it goes, right? You bounce between them. Though I suppose it's not for every episode. I guess you could have, you know, multiple directors obviously work on multiple episodes if the schedule goes that way. Have I got some manga recommendations that have Studio Ghibli vibe? Well, if I have, don't I have a recommendation for you? It's on my tablet. Is lying on top of it. It's called Nausicaa Valley of the Wind. 2 different volumes of them, big thick hardbacks, complete edition. See, it was drawn by this guy called Hayao Miyazaki. Don't know if you've heard of him, but like he made this big manga. It's really big. People seem to like it quite a lot. It's very dense, kind of shows that Miyazaki is more of an animation guy than he's a panel guy, but yeah. I mean, he did some other small ones too, but that's definitely the one that people remember. How's it going, Pedro? Gungrave is like Goodfellas with zombies. That's what a concept. What a fucking idea that is. Same world as Trigun? Is it? Is it actually? I don't remember hearing that. These days, too much anime, less directors. Yeah, that's unfortunate. That really is unfortunate. I mean, I know a lot of people in the industry have been saying that for fucking ages. Like the Moriyamas and that. Like, yeah, there's too much being made. There's not enough talent around. The talent's spread too thin. There's too much deadlines are too sharp. I'm sure Mappa isn't helping with that with their new schedules, but. What are you gonna do? I mean, looking at the report I saw, like the 2020 animation report, it does look like the total minutes of animation did go down in 2019, but like it's a couple years behind, so I'm not sure if that continued. I guess through COVID season there probably was less shows coming out as well, but I don't know if it's like enough less, just because like the numbers are so high in comparison to what they used to be. Wait, who did I say? Did I say someone's name? I don't know. I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, the horse races and Gungrave are the bike. Is it just because they're both from the same studio? Was Gungrave done at Madhouse? Because it was like a multimedia thing, wasn't it? I thought it was. Wait. Yeah, Madhouse. Yeah, it's just the same studio. It's probably just a reference. Mappa is going on ham to get these weebs on Twitter to work for me. Yeah, I've seen. They really, they're really going hard. I mean, I heard, well, there's someone else in the chat usually comes in who's got like a salary off them. Like the salary sounds pretty good for part-time, but it sounds like he's probably going to be doing pickup stuff, right? He's going to be doing like the weed stuff where like they want, you know, when the production's like all messy and they want someone to clean everything up. I'm guessing that's what his job would be. Like just like sort of clean up like how messy the schedule is by just hiring anyone they can get internationally to sort of just do the damage control. That's how I've heard it goes. I don't know if that's true. But that's what I've heard. Oh, so game then anime. Okay. Yeah, I mean, looking at it, considering it's game v anime. Was Gungrave actually? Does Gungrave got anything to do with the Trigun like mangaka? Oh yeah, it does. Okay. Okay, I see. Story, character design, story, video game. Yeah. So, all right, I can see why they have overlap. Same animation studio, same creator. Okay, fair enough. Maybe they are like the same world. All right. What time is it now? You know, it's been a while, chat. It's been a while. I'm probably going to stay around for like another half an hour, then I'm probably going to go off and have some dinner. Just because, I don't know, I can't be bothered to do any massive drawings or anything right now. And I need to eat. So, yeah, we've probably got like another half an hour of me chatting. And then I'll probably have to go. When you say strange cultural crossovers, are we talking in like topic, or are we talking about staff members, I guess, would be the question. Because you do see a lot of mixed productions happening. I think the new, like, Haruhi... Well, no, what's it called? Hatsumiku? Yeah, Hatsumiku, right? The Vocaloid. Hatsumi... Well, she was a Vocaloid. Yeah, Hatsumiku's new anime is being it's all export work from India, from what I've heard. I don't think any of it's getting animated in Japan because there's just no one to work on it. And yeah, Saudi Arabia has been doing some like weird investments into animation because apparently like one of the crown princes is like a huge weeb. So like he bought like SNK, and yeah, we'll see where that goes. Like just a very big '90s kid by the sounds of it. Yeah. One of the crown princes in Saudi Arabia is, well, from what I've heard, allegedly. I mean, you could look it up from. I never did any research. I just heard this like through the grapevine that he's like really big into like '90s shit. That's why he bought SNK, and that's why they're like producing more Obari like SNK like stuff for new entries or whatever. You know, and yeah, you see these mixed productions too. I think Toei was doing a production with Saudi Arabia a while ago as well, for Alibaba. I think they were doing something like that. Maybe some Nippon mix. I don't know. There's like, yeah, you'll see mixing like that. Yeah, the Crown Prince likes One. The Crown Prince likes One Piece. I mean, to be fair, One Piece is very popular. I wouldn't be surprised if he's a big One Piece guy. The Journey movie sounds kind of interesting though. I think I remember hearing about this. I mean, I'm always hearing about random animation stuff. 2021. Yeah. Those are kind of unique projects, but swear to God, they're always very difficult to talk about that sort of stuff. You know, whenever I talk about something made in China or like any like these more authoritarian countries, you always get people who are just angry about it. Like it shouldn't even be mentioned. But there's definitely some merit to like discussing it. Though I don't know, depends if I'm that interested or not. Oh, cat's going back out. You gonna go, cat? Bye, cat. I need to set the camera up so I can get both of us in shot. Yeah, Toei's pretty big. I mean, Toei's a very big company, so I wouldn't be surprised that they find their way all over. I mean, I remember hearing from friends about how big Captain Tsubasa was in the Middle East when they were growing up. But I think that was mainly the manga. Toho and Toei, eh? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Oh yeah. Ramayana. Yeah, I remember Meta Hulk talked about that in one of the core retrospectives, like core reviewing every anime. He talked about the sort of mixture of it was like Indian, Japanese Indian animation, like sort of mixture of production. So I don't know, like it seems like the production was a bit turbulent when who was doing what. I think most of it was on the Japanese side in the end. My parents are like Future Boy, Conan, and Grandizer. Grandizer was big in France, isn't it? Grandizer? UFO Robot. In England, apparently it's called UFO Robot Goldrake. But UFO Robot, how do I say it? Grandizer? Grandizer? Grandizer. Right? Grandizer. Yeah, Grandizer. That's really big in France, I believe. Like, I think that's a really big title there because they spent like it was on public television for years. But yeah, Future Boy Conan. I'm wondering when they're gonna get like a. There's no like official release for Future Boy Conan in the West. It's weird to me. I feel like there should be one, considering it's like a Miyazaki title. I'm wondering if there's something that's holding back them getting like the production like sorted in terms of that, or if just no one really cares enough to buy it, or it's too expensive. Because it's also based on a book, so I know there might be like a third-party royalty situation going on there. I don't know. Maybe one day. If it's really about Grandizer, yeah, Grandizer is really big in France because it was like the first mecha show they showed in France. I remember reading an article about it where they said like in 2013 it was like the highest selling DVD when they put it. They finally did like a complete edition of it on like DVD in France, just because yeah, apparently like generations of kids watched Grandizer growing up in France. They were on the train from about the 70s onwards, so like really specific titles that were like shown on public television got like quite a bit of play. What's Gargantia? Someone asked me about something called Gargantia. Never heard of it. I don't know, like if you ask me about modern stuff, I'm probably not going to be up to date enough to tell you anything about them. Production IG, is it? Written by Geno Urobuchi, eh? Okay. I have no opinion whatsoever. Yeah, City Hunter is also really popular in France, isn't it? Future. All right. Yeah, Van. Future Boy Conan has never been released in English-speaking territories. No, unfortunately, never. Like the stuff that got released in England was always very patchwork anyway. We didn't really, I don't know, we didn't really get like a lot of. I suppose the most interesting one is probably Moomins because, well, there's all right. There's two. There's two that I think are interesting. Well, maybe three. Well, I'll keep it to the two right now because we're talking about television shows. One of them is that like the BBC slash CBBC, which is Children's British Broadcasters, they dubbed allegedly they dubbed Moomins, the '90s show, but it was never showed when I was younger, so it might have just went in and out. Probably on television a couple of years before I was born, or like when I was too young to remember. So yeah, Moomins was dubbed by the British Broadcasting System, publicly funded and all that. And then the other one is probably that Urusei Yatsura had a very short-lived pilot dub in English from the BBC, which was really funny, and they never did anything else with it. They did like like a pilot where they did like a couple episodes. Sort of just done, very localized, very cheeky, and they never really did anything else with it after that. Yeah, yeah. From what I understand, when it comes to French stuff, I know what's big in France. God, I'm losing it in my brain. What's a big show in France? I had a couple that I knew were quite big. Harlock, Leiji Matsumoto. Like a lot of kids that grew up in like the late '70s, early '80s knew Leiji Matsumoto stuff in France. I think Ken, like Fist of North Star. I think that's pretty big over there. Dragon Ball, definitely City Hunter. I wouldn't be able to tell you much else though. Um, oh, sorry, what were we? Yeah, didn't Conan O'Brien do a thing with like Future Boy? Not Future Boy Conan. It was like the Detective Conan, right? Because there's something about their names being like a point of contention, like Future Boy Conan, because it became case closed when it came over to the States. I don't think case closed ever made it to Britain in an official capacity. I guess it's on Crunchyroll now. Shin-Chan did make it to England though, but like it was a different dub. It was not like the raun. I think they did like a raunchy one in America. It was like a kids' TV dub for like Shin-Chan did make it to England. Yeah. What are my thoughts? This super chat £5 from Mr. Brooks over here. What are my thoughts on Hobbit 77, Basky, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King? Never saw them, unfortunately. I've only seen clips. I didn't grow up with them. We didn't watch them. I wasn't like a big Lord of the Rings kid. So like I was never really that interested, but I didn't see much of that stuff. It probably weirded me out as a kid because I was very particular about like tone and feeling, and those things do look quite strange. Topcraft is a very interesting studio. Technically, back in the day, ITV, which is like one of the major channels in England, they co-funded The Last Unicorn with Topcraft, the Japanese company. Although, like growing up, I never got to see The Last Unicorn, but like it is technically an half British co-production with Japan because of Topcraft, and they Topcraft did that film before they made Nausicaa. So I think they came off Last Unicorn and then went straight into production around that time for Nausicaa. Kenshin was more known because of the controversy. Yeah, yeah, I heard the controversy was pretty bad, but the dub is so hilariously bad it sticked. Oh, fair enough. Oh wait, AI squared. I think I've asked it. Maybe I've asked you this before, but I just want to clarify this. Like Lupin isn't very big in France, is it? Just because I know they had like a whole issue with like the copyright, and they had to change its name to like Lupin has like a really stupid name in France. It's got like they completely changed something in the character, right? I've heard season two got on like the French airwaves, but I don't think it ever was that big over there, was it? Maybe not until recently, if it has. But yeah, unfortunately, Brooks, I have not seen any of the older Lord of the Rings stuff. But Topcraft did good work. That's all I can say. Um, I grew up. Well, someone's asking about Star Wars. I grew up watching like VHS tapes of the special editions, so like I was always quite fond of those films. Growing up, and like other stuff, I was kind of big into like Star Wars games and some extra media for some time, and I go in and out of it. Uh, like it's pick your poison, with Star Wars. It's but yeah, like I mean, I liked growing up. I liked Jedi Out. Like I liked all the Jedi Knight games. What else did I play when I was young? Like the Jedi Knight games, some of the extended games. Like played the Lego games growing up. Played KOTOR. I swear I played some more, but I can't. I think I played Republic Commando as well and some other ones. I think there was some. Yeah, I was always interested in that. Oh, Battlefront 2. Battlefront 2 I played a lot. Yeah, definitely that game. But I'm going to show them to my friends who are Lord of the Rings mega fans. And does it? Oh, okay, that's cool. A pint and ale. So, yeah, I hope you have a good time watching it with them. Maybe at some point I will watch The Hobbit 77. It's been some time. Yeah, live action Lupin, which based on the original novel on Netflix, is apparently really popular. It had like a big spike in like January. I guess both in America and in France, it was just like really popular for like a time. Like it really boosted, and then it seemed like sequentially, because of the new CGI Lupin, the first film, that also got a boost because like videos on Lupin was doing really well in that period for random reason. God knows, lots of like random Lupin clips were doing big numbers on YouTube, probably because of the weird algorithm stuff. But yeah, yeah, Edgar, that's the one. It's one of those underground animes in France, so bigger than usual for the rest of the world, but not much still. Bigger than usual for the rest of the world, but not much still. So it's like underground. Okay, fair enough. Is there a horror anime that appealed to my morbid sense? I don't know. I don't know if there is. Oh, hey, you're a little late to a little late to the game, unfortunately. I'm probably calling it quits in like 20. In fact, I might go downstairs, put dinner on in the oven, and then yeah, I'll be here for like another 20 or so minutes, 20 minutes or so. Oh, bye, Van. Yeah. See you later, Van. I hope you have a good week. I hope your wrist is doing better than it was last time. I know how it'd be with the wrist. Yeah, I hope the animation's going good. Have a good one. What about the wind? When the wind blows in the UK, I know that. Yeah, it was a film from the 80s that like got funded, like kind of small by I think a couple of rock stars funded it, like David Bowie and like members of the Pink Floyd. I think they did like a lot of the funding for it, and they were like on the soundtrack, or at least one of them was. I never saw it growing up. Never saw it. It was never on. Probably because it's a bit like gloomy. Then again, like there's like a every year at like Christmas time on Channel 5 in England, they show Watership Down. And they've been doing it for like generations. It's like a generation passing, and every year they get complaints for it being like a horrific film that terrifies children. But they continue to do it every year. It's just like a tradition, and it's funny. I haven't watched Watership Down since I was a kid, and I do have like bad like repressed memories, I guess, of it just being like, oh, that was a bit unpleasant. That was a bit morbid. So I've never been able to like actually watch it again since. But interesting. But yeah, give me like 2 seconds, everyone. Give me 2 seconds because I'm gonna go downstairs and put dinner on, and then I'll be back. Let me dip up. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay. Just fucking hell. That was a lot. Okay. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Just trying to set some dinner up before I go off. I don't know how long that took. That took longer than I was expecting. Okay. All right. How's everyone doing? Would I love to see Porco Rosa 2? Probably not. It's probably not a good idea at this point. The live action Lupin, the main character, I think the writer stated that it was also inspired by Lupin the Third after seeing how big the thing was in Japan. You'd have to show me a source for that one because I don't know, it's a bit contentious. No problem. I'm about to sign as a member. There should be a cat emoji. I don't know. Like I'm shit with this sort of like member program. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it. I tried to set up a couple of emojis for it. I should probably make some more. Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Yusuf, for setting up as a member. I appreciate it. I don't know what to do with the member program, but I'm trying to figure out stuff for it. I'll figure it out. I mean, you've already got access to stuff anyway, so from the patrons. But yeah. So yeah. Yeah, I'm the microwave boy. I'm the microwave man. Okay. Yeah, so I'll be around for a little bit longer. I'm waiting for that stuff to cook. Hopefully I don't forget about it, but I probably got like 20 minutes or something like that, and I'll just chat for a little bit longer before I have to figure out what stuff I need to work on for the videos, which is gonna be difficult, but you know, you can do what you can, right? You can do what you can. I might have to read something, maybe try and write something up, just figure out what I'm doing. Maybe I'll write up some stuff for the elf and lead part of the script. God, this is gonna be a big one. I'm trying. Can I use my own emojis? Oh yeah, I can. There we go. Yeah, a little squeak emoji there. I do need to do more of those. I know they have like lots of little emojis in here. Probably need to make more, I guess. I don't know. Gabe, I have a Discord, but it's for the patron stuff. I don't have like a public one. That's too much. That's too much mess. A public one. Yeah, the patron's like a good way to like, you know, filter out difficultness, I guess, for the most part. So yeah, I have like a Patreon one, which is I have fun there. It's a nice place. You know, I try and keep it like, you know, sort of fun. Just sort of it's pretty light most of the time. But well, sometimes not. But you know, it's like this. I've got it like split up into different groups and things. I usually post a lot of research stuff there. Like if I find interesting articles, I have like a research tab which I put a lot of stuff into when I'm looking up things. And I mean everything else is just sort of like silly stuff, really. But yeah, and I keep updates on like how videos are going on the day to day, and there's like a content part where I upload all the stuff we're making and everything I'm doing. You know, it's a cool place. It's a Discord, you know. How do I? Okay, I'm quite new to this thing, but the emojis are cool. Let's go squeak emoji. Yeah, I mean, if you want to use the squeak emojis, go for it. Boop. How do I stop it now? Oh god, I don't know how to make it go away now. Okay, I think I did it. Okay. Yeah, I probably should make some more. Maybe I'll do it. Like I should make some more mascot ones. Because I mean, I joked about before about like Squeak the VTuber mascot. I should probably make some more drawings of that. I think that would be cute. Yeah. like having a personal like mascot for the channel. I mean, I think Squeak's the mascot anyway. So, how's it going, Billy? How's the skin? I know you were like roasted like a lobster before. How are you feeling? Wait, can everyone? I guess everyone can use the emojis. I mean, I have custom emojis for just people in there, but yeah, I'll have to add some more. Skin is better. Great. All right. Well, I'll hopefully seeing you tomorrow then, am I? Thursday? It's a Thursday. You good for tomorrow? We'll go out. We'll go out for a little walk. You're fond of me lobster, are you? Are you fond of me lobster? You are fond of me lobster, aren't you? Hark! Hark! Triton! I can't do the rest of the speech. I'm good. Okay, we'll do it tomorrow. We'll go for a little walk. Do you grade the stuff you watch in any way? No, I fucking hate grades. I don't know. I spent so many years of my like youth, like from like age 11 to like 17 or whatever, just like obsessing over like video game review scores and other stuff like that. So I was like really into it. I was really into like scoring of like the 7.8, the 5.2. Like, oh, this game's a 7 point. I just don't care anymore so much. I so much don't care. Like I don't really grade things anymore. Like I usually can kind of just, because you know like feelings on stuff change and they're complicated. So like, you know, it's either a classic or it's not to me these days nowadays. If I'm making a video about it, I think it's at least interesting enough to talk about. That's the important part for me. But yeah, I'm not a big grader of content. Right, let me just adjust my chair. I should probably get a bit closer. Where do streamers even put their camera? Do they put them up high? Do they look down at streamers? Is that how it's supposed to be? You're supposed to look down, or do they put them low so that people can like, you know, feel like I'm oppressing them from high up, like, you know, telling them they're pathetic, you know, like in the classic fashion. I do wonder where people even put this stuff. Or do they do a flat angle? I don't know. Manben, Manben's the manga show, right? Isn't it? Manben? I've seen a couple of them back in the day. Like I remember, yeah. I've seen a fair couple of videos of this one. It's always pretty fun to watch them. Like just go around and see how they work. I remember watching like the Pun Pun one. I remember watching the one for Golgo 13, which was yeah, it's kind of fascinating. Like the Golgo 13 one, just seeing how this old man, like how the assistants do basically everything now, and he just like 1 2 1 1. He just like writes out like these little things, and everyone else does most of the other stuff. But I guess he's in his 80s at that point. I should probably watch more of these. It's been some time. I know there's probably been more seasons since I've stopped since I stopped watching. Oh, there's like 4. Is that 4 or 5 seasons of this now? Junji Ito's in one of them. Reiko Shimizu. Yeah, this is really cool. Like all these different people they talk to. Oh yeah, Urasawa was there. Moto Hagiya, that's pretty cool as well. There's some good names on here. Akiko. Asano. Yeah. Yeah, I should probably pick it up at some point. Depends what angle is flattering. Well, baby, I'm flattering from all angles, so it's fine. It's fine. I don't know. Like, I'm probably fine from all angles. I don't know. I don't really notice any difference. I think the cameras are a little higher. Is that supposed to be like high double chin or something? I mean, you know, my chin's pretty strong. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they had their camera a little higher, just to hide any folds or flabs, right? I don't know, it's just strange. I do feel that some of them do have their cameras higher. I'm not really sure why, but yeah. Yeah, seeing manga artists draw is pretty cool because you kind of get a feeling for like the craft of There's a thing about having like strong lines, and a lot of these mangaka, like they've been doing it so long, they have really confident and strong lines because they just know what they're doing. Like when you see them work from ink to begin with, it's like madmen. Like when you see Akira Toriyama like pull out his like ink pen and just do it, you're like, what are you doing? This is insane, man. Just, and they're doing it with like ink and nib. Some of them, like a lot of the old mangakas, they still use the ink and nib stuff. I've used it before. It's pretty difficult to get down, but like or like they use the brush. I had some friends who were really into brush pens. I do actually have like a watercolor one. They're actually really good, but I think they're better at like filling in spots. Like they're really good at filling in like blobs of color. They are definitely a lot harder to use for like line work, but if you've got the hand for it, if you're sturdy, which I'm not, you can do some real good stuff with it. But yeah, I'm not that kind of guy. I'm very scratchy. So yeah, I'm probably not the mangaka in the making. Yeah, dip pen and brush, they're pretty alright. I think I used to have a dip pen as well. They're like the sharp ones, aren't they? Yeah, yeah. I had one of those, but I broke it. Yeah, I guess I think I still have a wooden one though, like an old wooden one, but it's really messed. I'd use it for like really scratchy, like rough stuff. But yeah, like there's definitely an art to it. Let's just get rid of it. I have so many tabs open now because of all the conversations. I need to get rid of half of these. There we go. We're back to it. Yeah. Do you ever try and draw a car? Yeah, drawing cars is bullshit. It's definitely true. I would be like, I don't know, some of my friends are like into drawing like the mechanical stuff. I was never good at that stuff. That's why I was very into like the collage for like technical things. Because I think buildings and cars and stuff like can be very cool to use, but I was never into drawing them myself. So I don't know, the straight lines not my thing. Straight lines, perspective, like art, like being a draftsman, definitely not those things. I'm definitely not that kind of art person. So I end up being a rotoscoper, you know. But yeah, working within that, like I can draw. Well, if I had if I'm drawing loosely over the top of a car, then sure, I can make it work. But I'm not going to be drawing one from scratch. I remember having that issue with like the Castle of Cagliostro video because I wanted to draw a Fiat for it, and my first draft of the Fiat, I just went in like raw, and I was like, "Fuck, this looks terrible. This is like the worst drawing I've ever done." But then again, that was before I had like a proper screen tablet. But in the end, I ended up doing like a very loose sort of like overdraw and sort of adjust afterwards sort of thing, which looks fine. But yeah, you kind of you do your very rough opening and then you sort of clean it up after and you remove it. But yeah, yeah. Miyazaki really likes JoJo. I really doubt that. That's definitely not his thing. I mean, the wobbly line can give character, yeah, for sure. It's just like it depends on if all your lines are wobbly and none of them are in proportion. You just got a shit drawing in the end. I think there's definitely there's an art to having like this sort of more like impersonal elements, but it depends on what you're going for. I don't know. I've just done like a lot of observational drawings of buildings and other stuff in the past, and just been like, oh, I fucking hate this so much every time. It's never been something I like doing. And yeah, I've never been able to draw cars, so not like from scratch. I'm awed by the ability to just draw. I think the inner critic is so strong in me that I can't even put the pen down on the paper. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I feel like some people get that because there's like a saying about how like all kids draw, but then you get to a certain age and you stop. And I don't know if that's because of like how we treat that, like if that kids stop drawing because they have some sort of internal voice, or they just see it as like a useless time to do, or like the only kids that are really into it, like the art, the kids that sort of really get enamored with it or feel a certain way about their drawings. I don't know. I think that anyone can gain like something from drawing. It's usually quite a therapeutic approach, especially if you do it with friends. Like people like playing Pictionary and all that shit. Like sitting down with friends and just drawing something can be like really funny, especially when like you kind of take away that sort of like it needs to be good and just sort of go like just wing it. Like it's gonna be very freeing. Yeah, I mean, I quite like, well, before my wrist really fucked itself, yeah, there's definitely something very, like, meditative and, like, soothing about the process of making something, especially if you, like, if you know what you're doing and you're very comfortable and you know where things are going, it can be a very, very smooth process. Although, like, sometimes, obviously, if you're struggling, that can, like, make it a little bit more difficult, but, it depends on what kind of artist you are with that, like, how you deal with the struggling. There could be like adjusting process to it, and the frustrations with it sometimes is usually like being so close to a drawing that you can't tell which change is better. That's generally like the approach I remember getting into a lot. It's just sort of like B or A or B, A or B. I don't know which one's better. I don't know. It's can be very difficult to make those decisions, or when you've spent so long on something, like it's like a sunk cost fallacy where it'd be better just to start again because everything's just not working. Yeah, there's a lot of factors like that. Yeah, I mean, I think perspective also is sort of one like where most perspective doesn't line up in reality, like in the real world, in the same way it does in like grids and all that. So you can play with it a lot, but you have to know the rules to be able to play with it in certain ways. I was never big on like perspective stuff. I usually try and avoid it entirely. If I can, I just don't really care. My characters can live in abstract universes where perspective doesn't exist. That's how I think about it. Or maybe I'll just collage in something and just try and make it feel like it works to some degree. But yeah, well, if all things go well, I should be drawing with some friends at the weekend. We'll do like some like group chat stuff. It's usually fun. Like not nothing too serious. I haven't actually used my new tablet since with my friends, so it'd be fun little, probably like a little bit of decompression, I guess. Nothing too serious. Just draw stupid stuff. Usually on a timer. Not no, well. I think we've gotten a bit looser with it now. We just sort of go with it, but yeah, it's fun. Am I excited about No More Heroes, or the new one? Oh yeah. The issue is I don't have any way to play it, so like I'm excited by the idea of a No More Heroes. My friend I think bought the No More Heroes 1 2 pack. He like got a physical limited release of the new, yeah, the double pack for the Switch. But like I don't have a Switch, so like I'm excited that people get to play the HD release because I finished Hit No More Heroes 1 on the Wii. Definitely like, especially the frame rate is all over the place. I've played it on emulation, but it barely works. Like I could barely get it to work with the remote, and the frame rate's still just completely unhinged, even when I'm like overclock it. So like the Switch version probably is a much more like fun way to play it. But I don't have a Switch. I think my friend has it, or I think he was looking to get it. I have to ask him if he actually bought it in the end. I wish I could be as laid back as you. Well, here's the secret, right? I'm not actually that laid back usually, but I think when it comes to doing something like this, it's a pretty laid back affair. I recall working my last job and like spending most of it just being like hyperventilatedly anxious. I mean, I've in my past I went through like phases of like anxiety rushes and depression rushes. So like you go up and down, but like when you're doing something like this, like when you like when I'm hanging out, or like I guess the older I've gotten, the more I don't give a fuck about certain things. But when I'm doing like this, where you're just sitting down streaming and talking, it's a very relaxed experience. I don't need to like stress about it. I don't really think about topic. I don't think about topics beforehand when I go on to streaming because it's a streaming whatever. I mean, maybe if I was a betting man, maybe there'd be more utility in having like some sort of like bullet point list of stuff to talk about or go over on stream. Like I guess some streamers do that, like they play games or they do something like that, like something focused. I'm not really bothered about that much. I don't know. That sounds like an extra bit of effort where I should be spending it on doing like real work. Like there is a divide in me sometimes about like drawing on stream. Like I have posited like I could probably spend all day just streaming and drawing something if I really wanted to, but it's like that. It is to me somewhat like an extra level of like energy though, because I do kind of like if I'm gonna spend all day making something, if it be thumbnails or collages or something for a video, doing some drawings and stuff. I think that's a real zen approach for me, just sort of like being in the zone in that period and just sort of doing it. Where like I would feel I'd have to be somewhat active or like entertaining or talking to people to some level of degree while drawing, and I'm not really great at that. I'm not great at drawing and talking at the same time. I've done it a little bit. That's usually why I turn the music on in here because I don't know what to say half the time when I'm drawing. I'm really like very much in the process. So like I'm not saying anything of any like utility. So like at the best you're gonna get like Bob Ross commentary from me, where I'm just like explaining what I'm doing. But yeah, I have generally thought about just like spending all day in a stream, just if I'm drawing anyway, just because it's like hit two birds with one stone, you know. Maybe I will, but yeah, it's I usually end up going into like a group chat and talk to my other friends instead, just because it's like less pressure. Because I don't usually think that streaming is pressure, but if I'm doing something else while doing it, I think I can feel like I feel like the more anxiety, stress of like I start double thinking a bit. Hmm. Yeah, I hope the laid back vibe kind of gives people stuff because that's how I want to feel about it. I mean, yeah, there is like a stress to public drawing as well, I suppose. I feel it less. I think I felt like a bit more frustrated. This is another good thing about buying this new tablet. But like using the old drawing tablet I had, there was a stress that I felt sometimes because I couldn't get the drawing to be what I wanted because of like the limitations between how articulate the tablet was and my wrist and getting it on the screen the way I want. That it takes a lot longer for it to like to craft it to what I want, which I think has been removed with this new tablet. I think the new tablet has made things just a lot more zen, just because it speeds up the process. I'm pretty much as articulate as I need to be on it, and I think that's really useful. Like it's removed that sort of and I can be a bit more like really abrasive with what I draw, even though I haven't been too much. But it gives me a little bit more leeway. But yeah, I mean, I'm not too bothered about if it's a bad drawing or not. But like sometimes if a drawing isn't going well, that it's definitely a lot more stressful when there's a chat happening at the same time. But yeah, I could see there's a pressure to it. But yeah, I remember how it used to be to have like anxiety, or I remember when I like left university. When I left, like the first couple of weeks, I was just like a fucking mess of like anxiety. I don't know, like it's sort of like you spent 3 or so years like working towards a goal, and then it's over, and it's like, oh, okay, it was all meaningless. Okay, cool, cool. What am I doing with my life now? And I remember just watching a lot of like Lucky Star. I think that's when I started watching anime a lot again, because watching Lucky Star was very therapeutic for me. It was just sort of like I'd never really gotten it before that point, but yeah, just the process of watching the show was just very zen, sort of calm me down, just like, yeah, yeah, okay, I get it, I get it now. That's sort of the sort of very, I was sort of like slowly rung into it, where like at first I was kind of like, oh, I don't know, and it slowly sort of won me over, just slowly one piece by piece. It's like, well, it's something to do. Do I listen to Surf Expect? I mean, I know the channel. I've listened to some of their uploads before. I don't like go out of my way though. But yeah, I've seen a lot of their uploads. They've been doing it for quite some time. I'd be like, here's one I did earlier. Yeah, that's the blue what they call the Blue Peter approach, where you like sketch something out really shoddily, and you go, oh, okay, here's something that's better. But we did earlier, but we spent more time on. To be fair, like Bob Ross kind of had that approach, sort of, and that like he did a lot of the harder like articulation for each of his paintings the night before. Like he'd paint something out and he'd figure out where everything was going to go and how he was going to draw it, and he'd have it all planned out on that painting, and he'd put it behind the camera, and then he'd paint. He'd just look at the painting and be like, okay, I just got to copy what I did last night. So like he did all the homework. Like here's what I did beforehand already. And it's like I'm unprepared. He was like, it was kind of like what would be the equivalent? Like, you know, like a blind speedrunner who's like already fucking S ranked the whole game. But he's just like, yeah, I've never played this game before. It's like, oh, well, I guess it's not too bad. He's just like, oh, look, oh, S rank, damn, I got lucky. And he's just like pretending, like some speedrunner pretending he's never played the game before in his life. Or like a professional musician be like, I've never played a piano before. And it's like, and it's like, oh, yeah, okay, I can get behind this. Is dinner done? It might be soon. I mean, I could probably leave it going for another minute or two. Yeah, blind run. This is my first time run, yeah. To be fair, they do like blind runs of what's it called, Punch Out? Like literal, like I mean like blindfolded. Like I don't know what do they call it these days? Like I guess you'd still call it blindfolded, right? It is 9:43 p.m. for me. So yeah, like blindfolded runs of Punch Out, which are kind of insane. It's like a speedrunning category. Like these people know the button presses so well they can do it without seeing. Insane, like beating Mike Tyson without looking. How do you do that? I could better get past like Bold Bull. Is it Bold Bull? I think that's where I got stuck on Punch Out. They do blindfolded runs with Mario 64. That's insane. How could you pull that off? That's madness. God, I couldn't imagine doing that. But yeah, in a minute I'm gonna have to go and like pick up my dinner. But I think next stream I do, whenever it is, it'll probably be I want to do another draw stream, I reckon. Even if it's like thumbnail stuff or something. I think that would be good, just doing something like that. I do have another drawing. Well, technically I have a drawing to finish as well from the Umetsu for the arms video. I might have some more drawings to do, so maybe I'll do like a day where I just sit down and draw on stream or something, just get some other bits and pieces done. That might be worth it. Hey, can I copy your homework? Make sure to copy it to a T. Oh. Yeah, I could see that. Planned routes, eh? Yeah, I could see that. Like, it's just you're waiting for. I once tried to do the only other time I tried to play a game blind, it was the first stage of Katamari Damacy. I'm not gonna burn it. Probably not. Maybe. Who knows? We'll find out. Yeah, I did a blind run of Katamari Damacy's first stage. And yeah, it was very frustrating, and I think I probably cheated a little bit. But like, I was trying to figure out like if you could technically figure out how to do it, like just by listening to sound cues. And I think someone who's better than me probably could, but I eventually got there, I think. But like, yeah, it was very frustrating. Okay, so as we can see in the chat, this is my yikes face. I don't know. It was a funny thing I did for my Discord once, where I posted a picture of like something silly, and they were like, "That would be a funny emote." So I just like cropped my face and turned it into an emote, and it's our yikes emote. And I thought I'd throw it into the YouTube chat because why not? I don't know. It's my face. I can do whatever I want with it. It's funny. All right. Yeah, I probably should wrap it up though, because you know, food's coming. It's probably done. All right, everyone. Thank you for coming to my my fucking TED talk. We've been going for a while. We've been going for almost 3 hours now, so I think that's plenty of time. But next time, maybe I'll try and go longer. Maybe I'll try and do a nice and... Oh, I'm out of water. Another reason to stop. But yeah, next time, maybe I'll try and do like a draw one. I'd like to go for like a really long stream, because I've only do like 4-hour streams usually. I'd like to try to do one where it's basically all day and maybe just me drawing, but I need to have like a lot of tasks to do, maybe for like a video. But yeah, I don't know, it might be more energy than I need, but I think it'd be worth giving it a go. It might be fun. I did actually have this idea once. I don't know if I'll ever be able to do it. It was an idea for a charity stream where I would draw every single Dragon Ball character in existence, like from the manga, from like the Toriyama run, of course, only the Toriyama run, and I'd try and go through every single character introduced and just draw them until I've finished like drawing every single character. I think it would take me decades and I'd destroy my wrist, but I think it would be such a funny thing to do, like maybe have call-ins or whatever, and just have them to like, I don't know, maybe having like some sort of weird system where I could get someone to draw a character for me if I do like a weird task. I don't know, there'd be such a, this is this weird, wild concept in my mind I need to get out. But yeah, just drawing every single Dragon Ball character made by Toriyama only, and just going through like the manga and looking for every cat. I don't know if I maybe I could make it easier by just exuding like characters that don't talk. So like maybe we can just get rid of any like the random dinosaurs or whatever. So like maybe the character has to have like spoken lines. That would be like the rule. So like if a character doesn't have spoken lines, I have to draw like every random person that's like in the background or whatever. But just every character has a spoken line. Having to draw them all, and you have to go the whole time, no stopping until you've drawn every one of the characters. And they're gonna look awful. Like just drawing them as fast as possible. I guess just me running through it, but that I would love to do that one day. Maybe when I get to like 100,000 or something, or I've always wanted to do like an Akira Toriyama video, like a retrospective. So like maybe I could do the retrospective because it would probably do very well because you know it's Akira Toriyama, right? But like if I ever did a retrospective on Akira Toriyama's life, which is probably like the one mangaka I would do, probably. Like yeah, that would totally be like a great charity stream idea afterwards. Just like go until I've drawn every character. Hopefully my wrist would be like functional by that point, like properly, because that would take so long. And maybe I'd have to take like little rests. I don't know. I'd have to have like call-ins. I'd have to plan it all out like insanely. But like that would be such a cool challenge to do. I think I would regret it instantly after the first couple of hours, but it would be such a stupid challenge, and I think it would be a great video. Thanks, Hazel. I hope everyone enjoyed the stream anyway, and my like weird ramblings about my Toriyama challenge where I God Almighty, I'd have to all right beforehand as well, because I think the best way of probably doing it would be to actually literally do the prep work beforehand. So it would be a case of me like having a list of characters and maybe drawings, maybe having like a document where I have the name of the character and a picture of them for every character in the thing, and just like maybe I have like several, I don't know, several pictures, or I don't know, I'll find some, and I'll use those as my bases, because I'm not going to remember them off the top of my head. But just having a document where you just go down and it's just like character name, and then it's just a picture of them, and they just go. So I just have all the characters ready, and I could just, it'd be like 100 pages long, and it would just be like, all right, I've got to draw this character, let's go. But yeah, I'd have to do that prep work before, and I'd have to have it, and I'd have to know how many characters I have to draw. Door, unfortunately, we're about to end. I was just telling you about my insane charity idea of drawing every Dragon Ball character that has spoken dialogue in Dragon Ball in a marathon stream. And I'd have to create a document. I'd have to have the drawings of the character, the name of them. Maybe I have like several different drawings next to it. And then I could have them numbered as well. So we have like number 1, it'll be like pterodactyl that talked in the first episode, and it's like I guess number 1 would be like Kid Goku. So you have like Kid Goku drawings, so lots of Kid Gokus. Number 2, like maybe the talking pterodactyl. Number 3, Bulma. Number 4, like Yamcha. Number 5, Oolong, and then you just keep going down the list, and there'd be like number 5,676, guy that like gives key to Goku at the end of the Spirit Bomb. Yeah, it probably would kill my wrist. I'd probably have to start using my left wrist, which I think would make it even funnier if I start. I think it'd be funnier if I start with my left wrist until that one's gone, and then I move on to my right wrist. So like all the first drawings are like really bad. I think that could be interesting. Or like jumping between them, like starting with my right hand and then jumping to my left hand, and then like there has to be good drawings, but they just have to be drawings. And yeah, maybe having guests come in would be cool, so I have someone to talk to while I'm like suffering, because I'm not going to know what to say. But yeah, like I wonder if there's having like a weird challenge system where I have to do certain things would also be interesting. I don't know, like drink water, or like do, I don't know, maybe I can give up drawing a character, but I have to do like a wacky like exercise regime or something. I have to do like some sort of weird Goku challenge, like it's like 100 press ups. God no, that would destroy me even worse. But yeah, having like a stupid challenge like that, where it's like, I don't know, do 20 sit-ups and then you can like avoid drawing a character. Yeah, recognizable enough, or like how I have to do like a weird dance. I don't know, maybe I have to do like a weird dance from like, I don't know, pick out one of the random songs from Dragon Ball and you have to dance all the way through it or something stupid like that. Like all these like weird challenges would be interesting, but like I think they just start wearing that away from you, because like at first, like yeah, doing a stupid dance is like nothing, but then like 20 hours in, I like, oh god, okay, I can't draw this character, and I have to do like, yeah, I could see this being wild. Anyway, yeah, I should definitely check on my dinner. Star, thank you very much for the support of the channel. I hope you have a good luck on watching all of them. I'm going to go and make some dinner. Yeah, I'm about to leave 2 stars, so I appreciate the comment. I'll be off jaded as fuck anime dance. Yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. I just watched Nisa Reborn. Chinese animation starting to look pretty good. Is that the CGI one? I think that's the CGI one. But anyway, I'm going to be off now. Potato is awesome. I'm afraid you came at the wrong time. Everyone have a good one. Maybe next time we'll be drawing. One day, wait for the Akira Toriyama Dragon Ball Marathon one day. It's going to be a wild one. Because I probably would do that. It's just I would have to make sure my wrist is of very good health before I think about doing that. Because that's the sort of thing that would ruin your wrist for life. Like doing a 48-hour like Dragathon. Maybe that's what I would call it, the Dragathon. I don't know. I'd have to find a charity, but I think it'd be wild. Look like Ian McGregor. Hello there. That's what you're getting. Goodbye there. Goodbye there. It's me, Ian McGregor. How does he even speak? He's like British, right? It's like, I mean, Scottish, but what would it be like? A civilized age. Is that what he says? What did he say? I mean, he says hello there, and like a tool from a civilized age. Anakin, you're being too reckless. I think I'm getting a funny accent on that. I don't think I can do Ian. I'm sorry, Ian. Oh, Cat's here. Hello, Cat. Alright, Cat's here to say goodbye. Alright, goodbye, everyone. Totally off. Oh, fucking hell. Alright, well, I don't have my headphones on, so like I can't pitch point it, but I don't know. I'm not here to do my fucking Ewan McGregor opinion. The cat obviously thinks I should shut up and stop. Alright, but goodbye, everyone. On that failed note. I'm no Jedi, I guess. I'll see everyone next time.